Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Dead Unicorn. My name is Corey. I'm glad you are with us because we are playing Dungeons and Dragons Spelljammer. We've been playing it for a while. We're gonna do a little rundown of what's happened, so we'll catch you up real quick. But before we do that, I'd like to thank the patrons scrolling up right hand corner. Thank you, patrons, for supporting this channel and making it so we can game on the internet and you can watch us, and it's wonderful. And we'd love to hear from you. Comment. Give us good comments. We love comments. I'd like to introduce everybody. My name, of course, is Corey, and I'm playing Beetlejuice, the astral elf ranger with a whip. And going around, I'm going to start with Brenna. She's playing Tinker.
Tinker is, as the name suggests, an artificer who's a fairy, and she has a spaceship, and it's cool, and she's got all these things and this stuff, and she's got these autonomes, and she has to repair all the things. Spaceship.
We got Spike playing Kios.
Hi, I'm playing Kihos, who's a Gith Yankee Knight, a pale greenish yellow alien with an eye patch and a smile, a toothy smile.
Looks like you're wincing.
And
I don't look like him.
And Keith plays Delstarwin.
I am the other astral elf in the group. I like to think that I'm a bit more sane than some of the rest of my party, but I'm probably not because I hang out with them. I get to be the resident spellcaster as our local druid. Support your local druid.
I like how he's over there going, I'm sane. I'm right, guys? Look how sane I am. I have a piece of paper. It says sane on it, certifying my sanity.
It's spelled
They don't give those to just
C-A-Y-N.
I mean, they don't give them away to just anyone. He had to earn it. He had to pass a test and an interview, and
it cost me $50.
His mom had him tested.
And then also there is in the crew a super skinny fellow named Sano. There is a rabbit woman, Harangon, for those that knows what they are, named Eudora. They will be listed as and the rest today. And then, of course, I am your dungeon master. I am the guy who does all the talking after Corey's done.
I'm done. I think.
Oh, okay, cool.
Is there anything else I need to talk about? I got the patrons. I got subscribe and hit the bell and all of that kind of stuff. And we love
So
you.
you figured it out after last time when you were like,
All right. So next time, send me a checklist. I'll just pay attention while you're going through it. All right, cool.
I really need to make a checklist. That's something that needs to happen.
Well, actually, probably wouldn't be a bad idea, but I was doing that kind of a tongue-in-cheek suggestion.
It's a perfectly good idea.
All right. Well then, the down and dirty, the remaining crew of the Weird Hammer had trekked across an alien world populated by mostly frogs and lizard people. They got their dwarven ship and they rocketed out of there after some fights with elementals and dead things, and they made it to the Rock of Brawl. Then, let's see, Tinker managed to use her contacts to find someone that would be willing to help them make huge modifications to the ship because they didn't like the way it was working, and that it took most of the crew to get it to travel through space, and they wanted to be ready in case they ever got attacked. And while they wait for that work to be done, they have found a job with a man who has the somewhat suspicious name of Johnny Lodestar, walks around in heavy dark clothing with a big dark hood. So he could very well be the dungeon master based on that description. And Johnny Lodestar has promised them a fascinating trip to the moon of Toril named Saloon. They don't have much information other than that they're looking for a crystal sword. They know it has something to do with the religious factions of that planet, or rather of that moon. And beyond that, they have yet to actually meet anyone and get any details. They have just finished preparing their gear to meet with Johnny and head out. Unfortunately, as this is happening, Sano and Eudora return from their walk, and Sano looks worse for wear and has overdone it. And Eudora immediately volunteers to watch him and make sure he's okay, feeling responsible for having taken him out on a walk so soon after his recuperation began.
Tinker suggests making him some rabbit soup.
Eudora gives Tinker a look, trying to tell if that was innuendo or something inappropriate. A big old one big eye, one little eye stare.
She's just like, I heard it's really good, like even better than chicken soup when you're not feeling well.
Yeah, so she gets a finger in her general direction as Sano is escorted away by Eudora. She seems hopping mad.
Yes, I succeeded. Yes, all I wanted to do was poke the bunny.
I mean,
Not the
like,
bunny.
I don't see why you'd be offended if I was like I was a Harangon and someone served me rabbit stew. I would just eat it because I'm not a rabbit. I'm a Harangon. And if like someone was like, "Hey, this is monkey soup," and it tasted good, I'd be like, "Oh, yum!" And people were like, "Aren't you a monkey?" And it'd be like, "What? I'm not this monkey. I'm not." This is
Yes.
not.
However, keep in mind in this particular world, there's most likely a lot more times where people call the Harangon rabbits than there are where humanoids are compared to monkeys.
It's true,
So it probably would be a sore spot.
but
Vegetarianism as well, I think probably would be a factor for.
people would be like, "What if Harangons are like?" We are not rabbits. We do not come from rabbits. We were made this way whole by our God. And to say that we are a rabbit is offensive.
I mean, that's entirely
Okay.
possible. But at any rate, they have walked off and we're moving forward.
No, or not.
I managed to segue everyone onto that little tangent with just one little joke. I am talented.
I'm just like thinking of the philosophy of D&D. I think like these things are important.
Just don't. Have you met this crew? Just don't.
This is the artificer taking a copper coin, putting it on the rail to derail the campaign.
ADHD, it's contagious if you do it right.
Me and Dell are walking down the corridors, coming upon the scene. I'm just saying that if I was living on that world that they call a moon, I would call it a world. And then the planet I see in the sky, that would be the moon. Don't that make more sense? Why are we
I
going?
think you're about halfway there.
Yeah,
It would I would definitely call where I'm living the world, but I don't know that I would call the planet that you're orbiting around the moon. I'd just call it
How would
something
you
else.
know you're orbiting around it? I'm just saying. Like, they think that they call your world a moon, so we should call their world a moon.
How do
As
you know
y'all are
that
nearing-
a planet is orbiting the sun?
As your conversation goes on and you are nearing the bridge, you hear, or actually, rather, you're nearing the deck where you will be meeting Johnny Lodestar. Your conversation is joined by the small android voice of one of the autognomes who says, "You would know which one is the moon and which one is the planet based on their fact that they are tide locked. The one that passes around the other and is blocking the sun is the moon." And then they start to go into a long explanation, which involves calculations that no one here understands, except maybe Tinker.
I was about to say Tinker's definitely like, "Ooh, hey, make some popcorn."
Well,
Like being
moon,
back
just-
at university.
I just completely ignore the autognomes with this and keep walking.
the moon
They
is
also
just
begin to
something
explain the tides that are involved with the moons.
I don't understand.
So it's like
all
a
of this
gravity
about-
plane?
I don't understand all of this about rotating around another thing or tide locked or anything. The thing you see up in the sky that ain't the sun, that ain't producing light, that's the moon. That's what the definition of the moon is.
Actually, Saloon,
How
known as
long
Lyra,
have you
to its
walked the
inhabitants,
stars?
is the name of Toral and Abir's only natural moon. Realm space is a heliocentric system, and Saloon orbits Toral in a cycle of nearly 30 days. The inhabitants of Toral use a lunar calendar to track
Good
months.
enough, thank you.
That's enough, Mr. Data.
Teacher goes, "Hey, I was listening to that."
When she says that, they resume. So Saloon is full around the first day of every month. Festival days and
Take it to the corner.
So
At
how
any
are we
rate-
getting? How are we getting to this moon?
If y'all have forgotten, Johnny Lodestar was going to arrange the transportation.
I know.
I was going to say.
I'm like, you said he was there, right?
No, you are where he is about to come meet you. You're like sitting in the
Ah.
deck waiting for him to walk up.
Are we in the Happy Beholder again?
Lodestar.
Say it again.
Are we in the Happy Beholder again, or is he meeting us somewhere?
No, he's meeting you at your ship.
Oh, good, because I don't like that place.
You don't like having your mind constantly read and being watched by a beholder? I don't see the problem.
Exactly. Yeah, that sounds like a terrible place to go and drink and talk and unwind. That seems like the worst place to do that. It's really weird that that's a very popular place, especially.
It's not so bad.
There
It's not
is a
a great
weird
place to
upside
find
if you think
information.
about it. All of the food and drinks are prepared telekinetically. They are so much more sanitary than any other place.
It's also one of the best places to do business because you can guarantee the other person isn't going to cheat you.
Safe.
Probably a great place to go for information.
Unless the beholder's in on it.
Exactly. You go
Well,
get the
because-
information from.
Okay,
the
well, you
Y'all
take
are
your
putting
chances,
a lot of
but-
trust into this, like, y'all are putting a lot of trust in this, like, giant floating abomination. Like, oh, he must be trustworthy because he can read all our minds. That does not sound like trustworthy
That's
to
not
me.
what we're saying at all.
No.
All right. I apologize. Y'all can roleplay. I have to go to my front door for a moment. There's a delivery.
Oh, darn.
Your turn for pizza.
Okay, so hey, flying abomination. I take offense to that.
It's just that Beetlejuice doesn't like to be beheld.
I mean, Tank, you're not all head and all eyes, alright? You can... You're much better
Her
than
eyes
that.
are pretty, do take up a lot of real estate in her face.
You weren't born out in the great void created by the essence of chaos itself, okay? There was
Where I come
intelligence
from
behind
isn't-
your design.
Where I come from isn't necessarily considered the material plane, I think. I don't know. Planes aren't necessarily my strong suit.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's not here either.
It's the Feywild.
Yeah, that's what you call it.
That's what I call it.
Seriously, so unimaginative.
It could be.
Do I call this the human world? Do I call this the Get Yankee world?
Look.
I mean, you could.
The Feywild is actually the, like, inventive name for it. We could be calling it the positive material plane if that's what you want. If you want to get... That's what the
I mean, we call
wizards
this-
want to call it.
We call this where we are crazy empty.
And us
Oh.
Get Yankee tend to come from the void.
Oh, yeah, right. Sorry about that. Didn't mean to...
So do we astral elves.
No, actually, I think we're elves that just live out there, and that we've absorbed the magic of that place, and now we're astral elves.
Uh-huh.
Just like underworld elves are elves that absorbed the magic of the underworld and became that kind of thing. They came from regular elves. Like regular, I don't know what a regular elf is really, but like a more primordial elf. That when the elves all separated and went their separate ways, we kind of like become one with our environments and kind of embody those things. That's what makes elves really neat, I think.
So you're saying elves are like magical chameleons.
I think so. Otherwise, Why would there be all these sorts of elves that seem to embody these little environments?
Just
So-
lucky, I guess.
Instead of being floating abominations, you're camouflaged abominations.
I mean, I'm not an abomination. I like got a regular body here. Like,
Well, the beholder would probably say the same thing.
no,
because
no,
there's
he's
many
not.
like
he's
him.
he's all
He's
head
pretty
and
regular
eyes. That's
to
not
himself.
natural. I'm sorry.
What about bugs? Bugs have a lot of eyes for their body size.
I think they just have the two. They're just all like weird looking.
Well,
But
no,
really,
don't
what
spiders have
sentient
multiple
bug
eyes?
have you run into? What like humanoid bug are you talking about?
The Thrycreen have multifaceted
Thrycreen.
eyes. While it appears they have two, they actually have.
See? Thank you. Thank you, R2D2.
Look, we fought the Nyogi, which are the spider eel like
Now
things.
those are abominations.
Exactly, my point. So I'm sure if we met a Thrycreen, like I'm not gonna trust it either. I think.
The eel-like head of the Nyogi only has two eyes.
Still an abomination.
Although the fact that it has a slimy skin combined with furry legs, 8 of which
Are all pure evil.
Right, we got World Gnome Encyclopedia over here.
Right then. So, has Magneto shown up yet?
I didn't want to interrupt all the role play.
We're done.
As you look out, you realize he's been kind of standing there, kind of listening in, just checking out what's going on. He's all been talking about the holder from Happy's, and he's not really concerned about that.
Hey, Johnny.
So, y'all ready to go? Is this the crew? Anyone else? You got all your weapons and gear and whatever you adventure with?
Yeah.
Is Eudora going to be catching up to us?
She's in the back with Thanos.
At some point.
Right?
Are you asking the DM? Or
Partly, actually. Yeah, because do we need to account for her joining us to be
she's
able to
not gonna make it
rejoin
tonight.
in another session?
well, yeah, Sarah made it clear that she's not going to make it tonight, but she said by next week she should be good to go. So hopefully, yes. I will work her in if that comes up. I have a side idea for that. I actually had a whole idea for what was going to happen to work her in today, what she did while y'all were gone. But since she's not here, she gets the guy got sick and I had to carry him back. No big story for her.
I was going to say it because I thought our original plan had been Sanos and the two auto gnomes were going to stay back with our ship to kind of supervise, protect, whatever.
Yeah, she'll be staying back to watch Sanos for now. But when that comes up, if she's able to join you and you aren't back by next game, which you might not be, I have a side idea to work her in.
She probably won't get caught at the Rocket Brawl with the bounty. It's fine.
Probably.
Totally fine. She'll just cut off her ears and put on a toupee. She'll be fine. I mean, if she's not here, I can make the decisions, right?
Didn't you suggest that once, Beetlejuice?
I think I suggested just talking to like people and trying to get like. I didn't think like maiming somebody is a me idea.
All right. So if everybody's ready to go, back in character.
Okay.
If y'all are ready to go, I have already conscripted a small boat to take us over there. The moon, and he points, and you don't see anything the direction he points if you lean out your ship and look. Because there's still a bit of daylight at the moment that's kind of shining over the area because you're in the upper atmosphere, so you can see daylight, and if you look straight up, you also see black. And he points out, and you don't see a moon, but you can guess that it's gonna come around. I got a ship that'll take us out there. On the other side of that moon, there is like 50. Is it 50 or 5,000? I don't remember. There's a lot of docks. You'll be fine. You should know, but at the moment the DM has forgotten but I'm pretty sure it's in here that there's a ridiculous number of docks there.
And involves the number 5.
It was a 5. That's literally the only number that's stuck in my head. There's either 5 or 5 million docks. It's somewhere in there.
It's all where you put the decimal, really.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. All docking ports for spelljamming ships are located on the far side. I don't know. It's in here somewhere. But yeah, there are definitely docking ports there, and there's a bunch.
Okay.
All right. So if y'all follow him out, assuming everyone goes, nobody's like doing anything else. I don't want to roughshod over somebody who is like, oh, on the way there, I wanted to blah.
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I don't know about everybody else, but I'm good.
We should talk to our guy and ask him what he wants to do with his life.
Sano?
Yeah. Did we do that? I don't remember us ever doing that.
Eudora actually did, and she talked to y'all about what the guy said, but nobody went back and looked for him to talk to him again.
Okay.
We're not sure what outfit he's with. Or maybe Eudora knows that now. They've been spending
no, you
together.
do know. He was with the treasure fleet.
Okay.
They are. It starts with a K. I don't know. I gotta look it up. All this stuff you make me look up from other games, you bastards. He's a treasure fleet soldier, and I have somewhere what that means, and I don't know. I know that they look Asian. That's about it. That's all I remember from the entire thing. I don't know. They're Asian. They like treasure. There you go.
From Karatur?
Yeah, that was it. See, the problem was it's Karatur, but I had been playing World of Warcraft, and I kept thinking Koltiris, and I knew that was wrong, and I didn't want to say it because I knew it was wrong, but it sounds like Koltiris. Karatur. Yes. Okay. All right. So yeah, that is Karatur. Yeah, he's with their treasure fleet. He admitted that much to y'all. He hasn't said a lot about anything else because he doesn't know enough about you guys. He was just being kind of like just vague as travelers are until they really get to know and trust other people, because you don't want to be like, oh, I'm with this group, and you'll be like, because your group views those groups as Nazis. Because you never know what the politics are until you really get to know people. Okay. Unless y'all are literally in character going, we're pirates. Because as much as I hear that said out of game, I don't know how much you say it in game.
We have not yet pirated anybody.
Okay.
Yeah.
Although it would be hilarious. It's like when you play the rogue and people are like, hey, what do you do for a living? Oh, I steal things. I'm a burglar. That's my specialization. Are you talking in character? We're not talking to this man anymore. Everybody check your pockets.
Yeah.
All right. So he escorts y'all through the docks. He takes you to it is a much smaller tub. It is it doesn't look like it has a spelljamming helm. It looks more like, and y'all are actually should be all familiar with this by now, especially those that are used to spelljamming or spacefaring. Mm-hmm. This ship is literally designed for moving through wild space, but not through the astral sea. This is probably more local things that can probably travel to and from Toril beneath you, or in this case to the moon. By the time you get there, you will see in the distance like a little speck coming across. You're like, okay. Well, I guess actually the moon wouldn't look like a speck. You'd see like rising over the area. You see the weird white ball. It looks barren as you see it. You don't see anything on that moon that looks interesting at all. Assuming everyone boards the small ship, the ferryman in this case is a stout, short but human, you think, fellow. Short as in like 5 foot, not 3 foot or anything. Kind of rotund, no facial hair, maybe a little bit of a neck beard. He tips his hat to everyone as y'all get on with a special milady for Tinker.
She looks over her shoulder.
Lodestar is coming with us, right?
Oh yeah, he gets on.
Okay.
And he nods to the ferryman. He goes like this and just tugs at the at his hood, and the ferryman just kind of nods and all right. So we'll just go into the moon then. Is that my understanding?
Yes, bang,
And
zoom,
we'll
straight
start
to
getting
the
to look
moon.
like you give someone after you've already explained the plan twice. Losar just gives him the look. He's like, all right, I'm going. Lady. As he passes Tinker. And yeah, he gets into the front, or I guess the back, and he begins rowing, and the oars are attached by hoses into something into the back of the ship. And the ship begins to pull out, and then he's struggling with the oars, but he is making it go. And he is literally rowing you through space in a weird ship that you don't understand unless, well, Tinker probably understands.
But
Actually, Dell does too. You got the specialization.
I was about to say, out of character, my brain is going, oh.
Magic.
Fantasy space.
Wild space works different than everything else.
Need a hand? Or one hand? Pair of hands?
Oh, sure. Yeah, he hooked you up. There's a set of extra oars, and he'll hook you up. And y'all will increase in speed once there's a second rower. He immediately lets you do that. He does not offer to compensate. He does immediately let you start helping. And then he starts explaining how normally he can do it much better, but he hasn't been sleeping well. He's got a lot of things going on. There's a lot of ladies in his life bothering him. You know how it is. And that's why, he's not going but normally he could have us going twice as fast without you, as y'all are. He's a great guy. You feel like you want to hang out with him all the time. Oh, by the way, there's this. All right. So you are cruising through space, and as you're going, you do see the moon growing greater. And as you get closer, you can't help but notice, you definitely did say you left the autonomes behind, correct?
Yes.
Okay. I will not fill you in on anything on the way there. You see a big barren moon that clearly can't support life. It looks this seems crazy as you're approaching it.
That's no moon.
Now,
actually, it's more like it is just a moon.
As a former member of the Elven Navy who's been versed in various things about space and whatnot, is there anything that I would know from any lore?
You can make
my
a
own background
check if you'd like. That's good justification. Make that history roll. All right, with an 18, based on the fact that you're not from Toril, you're not from this realm, but you're a visitor, and therefore travel to that moon on this side is actually far more common than actually from Toril, which is one thing that you know. Another thing that you know is that what you're looking at, you've heard rumor, and you never really checked it out before, that there is a strong, powerful illusory spell covering the face of the moon, tide locked to the planet. The people of Toril, for the most part, are under the impression that one, space travel is not really a thing. Two, that's a dead moon. Three, but you do know that there's a lot of moon worshipping religions, but they don't look at that and expect there to be actual regular life there. It might be a god watching you through its eye or something, but just like a city there or something.
All right.
And as you, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I thought maybe you were going to share.
I kind of was.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, hey guys, just watch this as we get near and wait for us to penetrate the illusions.
Tinker's pressed up right against one of the windows.
First of all, it's open air where you're sitting.
It's not enclosed.
She was like, whoa, you don't penetrate the illusion so much as you come around it as you head for what should be the dark side of the moon. Based on the alignment of the sun at the moment, though, you can see the other side of the moon. Dark side is actually a misnomer, and that's true in the real world. The sun does hit it. We just don't see it. And what you basically see is it's like a projection, like a huge projection from the moon. And just as you start to come around it, from the other side, you don't see it at all. And you can still see the world beneath y'all, or, at an angle, but you're just watching it's almost like the dead moon is fading away into what is clearly a thriving population. There are multiple large crystalline cities scattering the landscape. There is forests and lakes and huge mountains and very impressive ranges of mountains, actually. The moon looks nothing like what you thought you saw. It looks more like our real world, barren, whitish from our perspective, cratered thing. But as you're getting closer, nothing like that at all. And it's the city that you're literally headed for is literally gleaming. And let's see, as you get closer, unless y'all say anything, y'all are welcome to speak anytime.
Oh, I'm just enjoying this.
Oh, okay.
You elves sure got style.
All right. All right. The surface of Saloon that you can see has enormous lakes and two large seas. It is dotted with cities connected with one another by beautifully decorated roads. 3 large mountain ranges run along the surface of the moon from north to south. The mountaintops of the 12 tallest mountains are constantly molten and gathering heat from the sun during the moon's 15-day-long day. I don't understand. I literally didn't make this up. I pulled this from a lot of searching. I don't understand how they can have a 15-long day-long day while tide locked with a planet that has 1-day-long days. So don't.
Tide locked just means that it doesn't rotate in relation to the planet.
Yeah, but it's going around the other planet. I guess it goes slowly around the planet. I'm not real sure.
So if a planet is I guess if it's tide locked, that means the same to the planet, and the planet.
Yeah, it's always the same facing.
So as the moon rotates around the planet, a different face of the sun. So 1 day equals 1 month is what they're saying.
Well,
that's how it should
15 day long. So 1 day is a half a month. As it's well, no, it says 15 day long and 15 night long. No, you are right. So basically, it just rotates around the planet, or redonkulously slow. Is super slow. So no, you didn't see it coming at you. You actually had to go at it. I'm thinking about it. That is a slow moon. But it's not the only moon that Toro has, so it's not too big a deal. Also, trailing Saloon is what is known as Saloon's Tears. And while you've heard that it's celestial bodies, when you're much closer, you see that it has nothing to do with stars. It's a trail of asteroids that follow the moon in the wake of its gravitational field. They do appear either wet or crystalline. They do have a sparkle to them, but they are definitely more rock than star. They're not stars, despite what the people of Toro would have you understand. But you don't really. I don't think any of you would have any reason to have been down there yet, anyway. Unfortunately, most of the information on this comes from the Toro perspective, and I'm trying to modify it from the Brawl's perspective. Mm-hmm. But where you are docking, the largest and most beautiful building on Saloon is the Lyra Trading Center. Also, the Saloonians are also known as Lyran. Dell would know that. Located in the center of the moon's far side, it consists of about 50 spelljamming space docks. Found it. And is surrounded by all kinds of colorful businesses, theaters, and dwellings. Visitors arriving at this large complex, Dell, you'll know this, are hugely confined to it and not allowed to explore the remainder of the moon. You know that it's unusual to leave this dock. And you know that your mission sounds like it does involve doing that, but you haven't gotten the specific shit on how that's supposed to be accomplished.
Right.
Do you say anything, or we just land on this ship?
I'm basically relaying to them what you're telling me here.
Okay.
Like,
And everything I said, y'all know. But in Dell's accent.
Yeah.
He's a sailor, so throw some F-bombs in.
Only Elvish F-bombs, which are significantly different.
They start with a Z and are followed by a non-pronounceable vowel.
It means something about trees, and we don't know why.
You don't want to know where the tree goes. All right, so the ship begins its docking procedure. This is not a Spelljammer ship. Therefore, the docking procedures are far easier. They're not worried about you coming from far space as an invasion, based on both the fact that you didn't come from far space and this thing is way too small. So you pull up much closer before anyone even really takes any notice. Everyone working the dock is obviously going to be elven, or either elven or at the very least attired in elven garb. As you get closer, there are two elves that see you coming, and one will just start like guiding you in, kind of bored, like he's not surprised to see this type of ship, and he's just showing you a place that you can park it. And you do indeed see a place to tie it up. And of course, your captain is just heading straight there. He's been mostly quiet. He's not been overly explaining anything to the whole group, except for Kihos, who has been hearing him talk almost nonstop in a lower voice, and occasionally asking you questions about Tinker, what's she like, what's she into, how do you get her to pay attention? And he says some things that are kind of vulgar because he feels like he feels like she snubbed him, and that's not appropriate on his ship. You get the idea. This guy's he's a charmer.
I didn't realize there was such a difference in your species between the fairies and the ferrymen.
Are you trying to insult him, or what is your aim on that one?
I don't know. It's just a pun.
That didn't come out very well.
I mean, I have he's a Gith Yankee. I have a passive intimidation of 14. So
nice. Based on that, he then grows actually quiet. For the remainder of the journey, he doesn't want to really talk to you until you get there, and he finally is like, I need you to move so I can tie it up. And he will tie up the boat. He doesn't really want to talk to you anymore. Johnny does the hood thing to him again, and he just hangs his head, and y'all can depart his boat. If anyone's really paying attention, normally these rides would cost. It's anyone that is trained in insight can immediately pick up that apparently Johnny has something with this guy where he gets free rides, or he has already covered this somehow.
Yeah, I kind of assumed something like that. I'm going to take my coat off, by the way, and just kind of roll before we docked. Take my coat off and kind of roll it up into my bag.
Ah, okay. Good. Put away the who you're with.
Who I used to be with.
And Kio's like, let me just peel off this Gith Yankee mask. I was an elf all along.
See, I told you.
In my teeth.
Get a little bit of elf in there.
Yeah,
I've had some elf in me. No, wait.
I mean, how you float your boat?
The one of the guys that directed you in will ask, "Hey, where are you coming from, and where are you headed?" And Johnny will look at y'all and see if y'all like jump in. If nobody says it, he's like, "Ah, all right." Like, so my mates and I are going to head towards the big palace there. We have a contact that we are supposed to be meeting. Uh, he points at. He's going to point at Beetlejuice
Right.
and just begin talking immediately in. And I assume that Beetlejuice speaks Elven,
I do.
just in case. I thought I'd double check because it would be funny if you didn't. Hey, hang on. I've lost the thing that had the contacts on it. Dang it. So many notes. Where did I put them? Oh, there it is. Found it. Now he is looking to join the temple here. He says in Elven. Our contact's name is Narifa Ashgard, and he begins to just kind of go into how devout Beetlejuice is, and how it's been a big goal of his to join the temple, and to just worship and all this stuff, and is up to you, Corey, how you react.
This is the kind of thing I didn't like, but you know what? It's lying to a this guy. Who cares? I don't. I just stand there and I'll just stand there, let him talk.
Okay. He seems to say all the right things, and the guy just goes, "Oh, all right." And he asks if he knows the way, and Johnny says he does, and he begins to lead you off. Is Dell our most insightful? I believe. Did you have a passive of like 14? Was it
Insight?
Yes.
No, my passive insight would be like 12.
I'm thinking
It's my perception that's 14. Passive perception.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I meant perception. No,
Yeah.
I think I said insight because
I also have a
thinking
passive
again.
perception of 14. We tied
Oh, okay.
for the highest. I think actually Eudora has the highest at 15.
She's not here. But from where she is, her bunny ears pick up something, and they relay it back to you like a satellite. No. All right. If you're both at 14, then you will pick up that there is guards that are kind of posted throughout, and you do pick up that one of them does make it a point to kind of watch y'all as you go, and just relay to another guard as you're passing, and then that guard, you realize that you are being watched. Basically, the guards have taken notice, but nobody's doing anything. It's not. You don't feel like they're arming up and preparing, but they are keeping an eye on your group. You don't necessarily know why.
I want to keep an eye on them in turn as we walk,
All
as Lodestar leads us to where we're going.
Well, all right. And that's it. Lodestar is going to lead you. There is basically like I said, it's a huge crystalline city. For the most part, there are places that are not built out of crystals, but a lot, like the roads are lined with them. Some of the buildings are almost all crystal. Others are just decorated with them. But there is a huge bazaar that is almost, not to pun, but bizarre in that it doesn't fit. In that there is people from all sorts of races lined up with their different buildings made from different things. A lot of it looks like it's imported. You see that there, as in the description earlier, there are all kinds of different shops. There is a huge palatial theater. And you can, from where you are, you'd have to go through the main gates to even get in to see what's going on in there. But in Elven, for those that can read it, it does say that it's a theater. Most of the shops have Elven writing on them, even the ones that look like they're clearly run and made from other places. because the clientele are primarily Elven, and you want your clients to be able to read what you wrote and know what you're selling. Um, there are taverns, there are inns, but of course, much more interesting is just some of the wacky stuff you see on display, weird foods and weird animals being sold. But you're not being led through the middle of that, just kind of past that. So that's mostly in your peripheral, but you're more than welcome to ogle or even say slow down if you like. Beyond that, you are being led to another very impressive looking building. The walls look like they're made out of ivory. The shingles at the top actually look like they are crystal plates. And this place is a moon temple. Both you can tell if you can read Elven, and if you can't read Elven, there is iconography. I think I said it right. One of those
Iconography.
Ones. Sure, there are symbols, and those things. Some of them look moonish and prayer-like. So if you probably can gather, even if you can't read Elven, this looks like a moon temple. The guards out front of it do not dress like the guards you've been seeing. They are wearing very impressive fine robes that are white. They are equipped with staves. They'd be big. They're large staves with moon-shaped crescents at the top, or crescent-shaped moons, or something. A crescent and moon, I don't know. Seems like the same thing.
Right.
Crescent-shaped symbols at the top that probably indicate moons.
So it's a giant long-handled sickle.
Yeah. The crescent part, it doesn't look big enough to like be attacked with. It's more like they probably turn it and thump you, or far more likely they cast and that's a focus. Yeah, because staff foci are pretty common for casters. And big ivory doors as you approach. He will go into again. Johnny goes into again the spiel about how the Beetlejuice here is looking to make his pilgrimage and begin worship here at the Temple of the Moon. Of course, does this again all in Elven for those that speak it. Did y'all want to talk or anything on this walk up here? Relate to anything? Or are we just letting everything pass as I described?
I mean, I was paying a little close attention to some of the food that we passed at the bazaar, but I didn't bother to stop. I'm kind of curious as to where we're going and how this is going to play out for the moment.
Tinker has probably been very distracted and may have wandered off a couple of times.
Do you feel like you need to make a check of some sort to have not actually made it with the group?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because number one personality trait is difficulty focusing. So
then I would say, since it's a difficulty focusing, that really sounds like a wisdom save. And she's like, "Oh, that's my best stat."
Suck. How do I roll that again? There it is.
On the upside, if you spent, all right, have you spent your inspiration? Because you get it back because your flaw just came into play.
I had not used it, but
darn. Oh well, can't double them up.
I know.
But you do see a tinker gnome who is selling his wares in a shop filled with little clockwork constructs. Some are literal clocks. Some are little things walking around on the table, like small. You see a frog that is made of brass and has a huge windy key, and it goes jumps, and then the tongue comes out, and it's kind of adorable. You also
Do you
notice
have
that
frog trauma?
It doesn't have any feelers underneath its no tentacles coming out from underneath, brass tentacles reaching around, as that would be particularly horrifying, especially considering y'all's history. You do see he has an autognome working with him, and the autognome seems to be more in charge of keeping things organized and dealing with the customers, while he is building. It looks like he's working on something in the back that looks sort of like a Your first thought is a suit of armor, but it's far too wide, and the joints are wrong, and you realize that those are big, thick copper wires that are attaching it, and there is definitely no way a person sits in it, or at least not like the arms don't fit. There might, unless it's a little person driving it or its entire construct. You're not sure which. But there's so much clicking and whirring coming from that booth, you just can't help but flutter by.
Actually, seeing the autognome makes her wonder, inquire as to, helping out her own autognomes.
Oh, okay. This autognome looks similar to, the easiest way to describe it is the Tin Man from Wizard of Oz. He has an almost funnel shaped hat. It doesn't look like an actual literal funnel that you could take off and pour oil through, although that would be awesomely convenient. And now that I say it, the Tinker has sketches of modifications.
Yep.
But he does have a cylindrical body for the most part. And he, like, there are joints on his face for his job, but also at the same time, the skin, the metal flesh he has does seem to move, and like arc a little for facial expression. It's a very interesting construct. It is not the same as yours, but you also, if you've seen autognomes other than the two that you already have, they don't necessarily all look alike. They're actually quite varied based on their makers.
That makes sense to her. But yeah, basically she wanders in and goes, "Hey, new to the area. My own autognomes have been having some issues. Wondering if you can direct me someplace where I can maybe pick up whatever it is that she needs to help them out." I don't know, out of character. She'd be like, this, and this.
We autognomes are capable of being healed with normal healing spells. Or, I suppose you could come here and, he looks over. Hibbard? And Hibbard looks up from his thing, like pulls his eyes look all huge, and he pulls the goggles off, and they're still pretty big because they're nomites. He looks over. What's that? You broke your autognomes? That's awful. Bring them by.
Yeah, basically, they can be healed with regular healing spells, but you had said that one of them needed a new power source.
Essentially, yeah,
and that's basically what she's looking for.
Yeah, to heal them, they are currently sharing a power source.
Yeah,
it's sort of like, imagine you and I are linked.
Yeah,
because something's happened and you are bleeding out constantly, and I am sharing blood with you.
Yeah,
you're like on a constant transfusion, and we are both weak constantly.
Yeah, and so basically, she's looking for a new power source, whatever it would be, whatever that term is.
Okay. He'll explain that honestly, as he's not their maker, he doesn't know if he'd be able to do the work you need. Mm-hmm. But once they are alive and functioning, that you might be looking for, you might look to a temple for greater restoration.
Yeah.
And then there's that part of you in the back of your head that just suddenly remembered that while y'all were walking, they started talking about things that had nothing to do with the cool stuff you were looking at. There was mention that you were headed to a temple, and you look around and your group is gone.
Yep. Once she comes back to herself and he talks about the temple and like the real world comes back, then she goes, "Okay, thanks, bye." And then flies up high so that way she can find the best.
All right.
Oh, there they are.
And while she is off doing that, what were y'all talking about? You said you wanted to talk about what the plan was. I believe that was brought up. Did somebody bring that up? Okay.
So we appear to be having Ramush impersonate a pilgrim convert.
Oh, right.
I mean, that's what people are saying about me. I don't know if when I speak what I'm going to say, but no one has questioned me. So.
Oh, no. It's no big deal. Don't worry about it. I've got all the talking done for you guys. I am on this for you. I want you to succeed, because when you succeed, I get paid. So we're going to meet with a woman named Narifa, right? And Arifa is an elf of this temple. And there's a holy relic she wants to help recover because it gives her some sort of standing here. So she can help get you guys out of the city to go look for the relic, and she'll have a place for you to come back in. And you get her the relic, you guys get paid, I get paid, everybody's happy, and she goes up in elf status. However that works, I'm not an elf. That's the plan. She's a real go-getter. She's real smart, very lovely. All will love her. You can ask my man from the boat back there. He thought she was great.
I'm sure he did.
So yeah, it's no problem. It's just that she doesn't want them to know she's looking for it, because then there'd be competition from the other temple folks that all would want to try and raise their status. So to get in, we just need to say that we have a convert looking to talk to her. And then once you get to her, she's going to say, oh, sure, I'll talk to you. Let's go have a private conversation. See if you're into this. And then she'll say, you know what? Why don't you give it a thought? We'll talk about it again later. And she'll send you on your way with instructions. And when you come back, she will meet you again. And then that's the exchange. I'm assuming that's her whole plan. A little assumption on my part, but that makes the most sense to me. I think that's the plan. But like I say, we're going to meet her. You're going to get any other details you need from her. And once I've made the connection between you and her, she will give me the first part of my payment, and I will buzz off. And I will come back later to make sure everything's well and give y'all a ride home.
How do we get a hold of you?
Well, I'm going to come back to meet her, and then she'll tell me if you did the thing and where to find you. So, you through her. And if I get back and she says they didn't come back or they screwed me, well, then I don't really care about you. But I'm assuming you're not going to do that. Hey, y'all are upstanding fellows and lady. Oh, where is she? Oh no! Wait, is that her in the distance, or is that a bug? No, it's getting bigger. It's her.
In the sky, it's a bug, it's a bird, it's a tink.
Okay.
All right. So, any questions? Anything you need to know? Because you can't ask me from the guards.
Why do we have to see her twice again?
You're gonna give her the thing you find.
Oh yeah, naturally, yeah.
To make the delivery.
That kind of helps.
And then I assume she'll pay you, and then tell you, and she'll set you up, meet up with me, and I'll take you home, because that meet up with me is where I get the other part of my pay. So she'll pay you, bring you to me, pay me, I'll take you home.
Right. All right. Any idea what? I guess we could just ask her, but what she's offering for this, or what this crystal sword even is?
I believe she had said 500 gold, and that other than that, it's a crystal sword that you can't fight with. It's not. It's like an ornamental thing with a lot of history to it. It's not a. Please don't stack anything with it. Apparently, it's made of crystal, like very shatterable. Don't be stabbing people up with it.
Right.
Don't sing too high around it.
That a real thing? If that's a real thing, don't do that either.
Depends on the crystal.
Well, I don't know. Fancy elven crystal could be fragile. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. They also make roads out of it. It could be really good stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
Although I think these, and he points to one of the plates on the edge of the road there, I think these are really thick. He tries to loosen one. I wonder if they're worth something. As a guard starts to walk up, interesting work. Love it.
Right.
He did not manage to palm an entire brick.
No.
But you get the distinct feel. He might have tried it if he thought it was a good chance to get away with it.
Anybody else have anything they want to throw in there? Questions, comments?
I just want to meet
Concerns?
this lady.
Everything's still going well, I presume, as a non-speaker of Elven.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of flowery language. You don't know what the hell's happening.
I seem to be pretty popular, though.
I periodically give Keyhost Cole's notes as to what's going on so that he has some idea.
All right. And Tinker rejoins you just as you are getting near the temple
Okay.
with no idea what the plan is.
She wouldn't
Tinker
have
speak
remembered by
Elven?
now anyways, because she's like, it's boring. All I remember is big shiny crystal sword. I wonder how they would craft the sword out of crystal, because crystalline structures. Sorry, what was the plan again?
Does Tinker speak Elven?
No.
Okay.
But now we all know the word for bug in Elven because he pointed right at her and said, bug. Nope. Tinker.
Dale goes, I'll give you $5 if you say that to her face.
If he does, the guy will do it in Elven. Except his 5 gold. All right, you get there. The man goes into his spiel again. This time, though, he does actually need to roll. Corey, are you still just standing there
Yep.
blank faced?
Yep.
Okay, he does not have advantage. Good to know.
I am not helping him in any way, shape, or form deceive these people.
I will abet, but I will not aid.
If other people want to
All right.
aid him, that's on them.
All right, one of the guards looks directly at you and goes, and they are speaking in Elven as he's going through the spiel, and goes, in Elven, I would hear it from you. Tell me what brings you to this temple.
Let me just check something here.
There's a dog trapped in here. I have to let him out. But did you hear what I said, Corey?
Yes. I heard what you said.
Did you just stand there and stare at him?
Give me a second.
There is no. Are you literally saying, "Give me a second"? Because you're in character role playing.
No pressure here.
What my character? What kind of stuff my character has?
All right. I'm gonna let the dog out. You have that much time. I know.
What's our contact's name that we're gonna go see?
So we're
Narifa.
ending on Narifa.
Marifa.
Narifa.
I'm here to listen to what Marifa has to say.
All right. Are you attempting to be persuasive?
It's not gonna work, but if that's the role I have to make, I'm not
I'm asking you, are you trying to intimidate or persuade or deceive? I'm asking you what you
not
feel
trying to
it is.
deceive, and I'm not intimidating him, so I guess it's persuasion if I have to make a roll.
Yes, you do have to make a roll.
Then it's persuasion. They're all the same, though. That's a 16.
But you say they're all the same, but if you were attempting to intimidate and you failed versus persuade and fail, those are way different reactions.
True.
Yeah, remember, it's always persuade, bluff. Well, I'm going to use old terminology, bluff, and then intimidate. Never mix up the order. It never goes well.
All right. The guy looks at you for a moment. He's staring you down, really assessing you. And then finally he's like, oh, well, And he begins giving the directions once you get through as to where she would be found. And y'all are let through. There was a tense moment that you could all feel, especially when you know that Rivers did not jump in on this.
And I did not lie at all at any point during this.
You have a not fly flaw. You could get if you have
I do
something
not
like
have
that.
a not. My flaw is that if someone calls me a coward, I have to turn around and say I'm not yellow. So
The next time, y'all need to be like, "Are you too chicken to lie your way in here?" All right. So as y'all start making your way in, for the most part, once you're past the guards, no one's really messing with you. People look because you're not. None of you are garbed like priests, and you're kind of walking without the escort of a priest. But you do seem to know where you're going, and so you're not really interfered with at this point. And you follow the directions, and you get to a hallway, and there is a guard in the hallway. And you know that this hallway is multiple like rooms, and that one of them is Narifa's, which you've been guided to this hallway. And the guard will just look at you all and say, "Okay, who are you here for?"
we're here to see Narifa.
"Oh, very well. I'll see if she is presentable." And he goes off, and that would have been in Elven towards
Sure.
whoever's in the lead of the group, which would be Lodestar and whoever's next to him.
Me.
It would have been Beetlejuice because he's
All right.
the petitioner.
All right. So that was in Elven towards the two of you. And since Beetlejuice answered, he will go and get Narifa. And he comes back and he says, "Just one moment, and then I'm allowed to permit you back. She has to ready herself for guests." And literally, he just stares at y'all and waits for what feels like exactly a minute. And then he'll say, "Follow me," and start leading you back. The room is curtained, and when the curtain is drawn back, it's a small like entryway, and then off to the side there's a sitting room, and then there's like more curtains blocking the entrance to other what do you assume are rooms within this section, like a small apartment that's basically curtained off from everything, and the sitting room is the only part that's not blocked by a curtain. So you can go and sit in the sitting room. In fact, that's kind of where he gestures. And he will only wait until she arrives, at which point he just bows his head down and walks out wordlessly. And the woman that walks in, if we have two elves here, are you both, are either you astral elves? That was it was?
Both of us.
Both are.
Both are astral. Okay, that's what I thought, but I wasn't 100%. All right. So you're not too familiar with every single version of elf from every realm, but this particular place is a big hub, and you know that there are basically sun elves, moon elves, and you've heard rumor about some sort of dark elves. You think they're called drow because you've heard of them in a couple of worlds. And most of the elves you've been seeing so far on Selene, or the Lyrian elves, have definitely been moon elves. They all have a certain like light cast to their skin and white hair, whereas her skin a little grayer. It doesn't quite match but it's similar enough. It could just be a skin tone variation. You're not sure. She has no hair, very like gaunt features. She almost looks like, I want to say, just slightly more goth than the other elves, but you can't tell if that's just a personal lifestyle choice versus any actual like racial difference. She's definitely not a sun elf, and she doesn't match what you've heard of the drow, although you probably haven't ever seen one. There's a big difference between Underdark and spacefaring.
Might almost say it's a difference between night and day.
Oh, all right. So
I
as she looks at all of you, thank
okay.
you for coming. So who here is oh, that's right. Johnny's still with you. Johnny would just be like, hey, all right. So this is them. This is I'm gonna try and get y'all's names right. Rumbush, Beetlejuice, Del Starwind. The little flapping one is Tinker, and the big fella there is Quijos. And that is it. They will do the thing. I will take my pay. She's like, I will hear from them before I've paid for anything. So I don't know what he's already explained to you. Why don't you tell me what you know so that I can fill in holes?
Something about a crystal sword that is sacred that you want recovered, but you want it kept on the hush hush.
Yes, very simple then. It is it's a symbol around here. Possession of it, presenting it would increase my status within this temple. And that would mean a lot to me because I've been having issues. I don't know. I'm not pure blood moon elf, and there are those that have given me some grief about my birth. And possession of this would add a legitimacy that would just simply make it easier for me to live here, believe as I want, and it would allow me to again rise in ranks. My ability with the powers of Saloon are strong, but due to the cast of my skin, I am treated different, and I believe this would make things right for me.
Insight?
Sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Boom.
Oh, look at the big brain on Truly Evil Bob. All right. Romish.
Let me change how my rolls come up. So it's Romish from now on.
All right. Bill, everything she's saying seems pretty straightforward. You did notice the different cast to her skin. All of this makes perfect sense. You see zero flaws in the story, and nothing about her demeanor gives anything off. I will say that with your 22, Romish feels like she is very excited to get this thing, and she's clearly trying to not show what it's really worth to her. But you feel that there's definitely an air of truth to her story. Like, you don't feel like she's lying,
Right.
but she's more excited about all of this than she is letting on.
Right. Okay. I'll keep that little nugget of information for when we have the thing and we can renegotiate price.
All right. All right. So what I can do is I came across in my studies, there's a great library in here. And in my studies, I came across information that I think is the location of an ancient tomb here on the moon that the person that last owned this item is interred and was most likely buried with. So I want to give you the location, and through my best ability, I'll give you maps, and I will chart on there where you need to go. I want to help you, of course, ensure your success. And as promised, you'll get 500 gold, as well as...
is that total or is that each?
500 gold for the return of the item. And
Okay.
then I was also going to offer, if you needed anything like to go backpacking across this land, whatever type of equipment you need, within reason, I would happily provide. I mean, if you tell me you need a special magical axe, I couldn't get that. But, camping equipment and food and rations and, that much I can get you, as well as the maps.
All right.
Yeah.
Won't you
You'll-
get in trouble if you show up with this crystal sword that allegedly was in a tomb? Like, most places
I don't think
tend
it
to
was.
frown on tomb robbing.
Well, absolutely. Yes. That's why we're keeping it secret, how I acquired it. I'm going to make it known that it was a part of my family lineage, and therefore it's mine. And
Okay.
you're going to acquire it for me. And I assure you, it's not a sword. It's not like a great thing that you can go wielding. It will shatter. Don't swing it, please.
Your god gonna be okay with all this lying and such?
Will it be okay with the what? Sorry.
Your patron, your god, all this lying and such.
I believe that is mine. That is my right to move up within this, and that I believe I am being held back not by my faith in the God. I believe I'm being held back by the pettiness of certain people within, and this is just a tool to maneuver around their pettiness, so that I can better serve my God. So I do not believe that doing this is wrong.
All right. Well, y'all, this here is a temple, so I assume you got some healing potions. That would be a nice little thing that could help us out.
You know what? That is very fair. They are slightly harder to come by, but I believe this is worth it. I will go. I know where I can probably acquire you a crate, basically.
Also, considering we're gonna go down into a tomb, some holy water would be good in case we run into, some denizens of the tomb that won't rest.
Very well. That I can easily arrange for you with no problem. Anything else?
Well, if we're doing liquids, maybe something to drink as well.
Of course.
Like water.
Of course. Water or else. Yes, absolutely.
Water or elf?
Well, he had said something else.
Elven wine?
She said else, and gave a nod to Quijos to make it clear that he understood that she understood.
Well, I guess we're pretty much going to want basic exploring supplies here for this.
What do you mean? I got basic exploring supplies. Oh,
It
everybody
says
else
explorer
needs
on the
basic.
side of my generic pack.
Everybody else apparently needs basic exploring supplies. I'm the only one equipped for that kind of thing, apparently.
No, I just restocking anything that we may have used in the past, like rope. Did we? I seem to recall we used used up our rope at one point.
Just like the rations that we used going across the desert, we could get refreshed from our packs. That would be nice.
Yeah, rations, things like that. Yeah.
Okay. She will provide you with anything that's in an explorer's pack that you'd like to restock or stock if you don't actually have one for some reason. You can all have an explorer's pack's worth of stuff. Keep in mind your own weight allowance. So if you're trying to walk around with 2 explorers packs, that's on you for screwing yourself. But you'll have those 2 bedrolls.
As a Thrycreen, you have
and
4
so many Titans.
As a Thrycreen, you have 4 shoulders. You can definitely wear 2 packs, right?
Sure.
I mean, we brought those up earlier.
But since no one's playing when it really doesn't matter.
I guess not.
Then you can have can have ale up to as much as you can carry. If you would like, you can have elven wine up to as much you can carry. If you're looking for something like ridiculously expensive, then she'll get you maybe 1 bottle.
I have a question for Tink. How does a fairy have a backpack and can still use her wings to fly? Does her backpack so low it's like on her butt? Or
no, the way I see it with Tink is because she's got
is it a
pockets everywhere. And so if she does have like her bedroll on her, it's probably like low on her lower back.
Right, so it's like covers her butt.
Junk in the trunk.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking. Like the pack just is very low and hangs down really far.
But yeah, like everything
You've answered
else,
the question. You've answered the question as to what you're going to do with all that junk in that trunk. You're going to
I ask about some herbs and such. I give her a list of different, like mostly tea type herbs, but just to kind of top up my herb pack the herbalist pack as well.
How many healing potions are we afforded?
She will bring back basically a 6-pack. They are 2d4 plus 2.
All right, I'm gonna grab 2 of those then.
All right, I've marked down all 6 on my notes here for.
Potion of healing.
How you separate them is up to you guys.
I'm putting one in my. I'm at least putting one in my pack.
Okay.
Sure.
And then holy water.
She will bring you back. She'll actually bring back a box filled with elven wine bottles, but they are all filled with holy water. They've all been rinsed out and refilled with holy water. Or if she tells you it's holy water, probably tastes the same. You can check.
I'll take 2 of those just in case. I am good on.
So say 2 each. 2 holy water each.
Yeah, that sounds good. If there's like vampires or zombies or wraiths or shadows or ghouls or whatnot, we can throw those at it, and hopefully it'll do some burning damage.
Okay.
Oh, what's that water for? What's so special about it, Beetlejuice?
What's special about water? What are you talking about?
Why did you ask for this particular water?
Because it's
One that looks like it's in a wine bottle. Does this brand name mean water? What a crappy wine.
it's been blessed. It's blessed water. We're going into a tomb. Aren't you a paladin? Don't you know these things?
Yes. I mean, if you just wanted water blessed, you could have just asked at any point.
I didn't want to put you out.
It does take me an hour to do.
Yeah, I didn't want to put you out. You know, mate. I'm like looking out for you. We got this stuff's already made.
They just like stashed this stuff. Well, that makes sense, right?
I understand. It's not as quality as yours. I mean, we wouldn't want to waste your holy water, seeing as it's the craftsmanship behind it.
I'm not
sure
making
he
any
could
offense in the
make some for us quickly anyway.
My man. My elf?
No, I
Sorry.
don't think that type of water is holy.
It is if it's comes out of a blessed fount.
Next time Pelormis comes around, we're gonna open up our gifts from Kios, and there'll be holy water in like elven bottles. He's like, I thought you liked that. Spent an hour making it. I'm sure that Pelormis is the Christmas equivalent in D&D, right?
Pelormis? Could be.
Yeah.
Takeover is actually a Greyhawk god?
Oh. It's in the main book, right? Pelor's
Third edition it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's Greyhawk centric deity.
Yep, you're thinking third, man. Back when Forgotten Realms was not your default realm.
Yeah.
We're in Toril. What's the main good god here?
Lathander is the god of
Lathander.
dawn. And,
Lathander
the equivalent of
sounds a little better, doesn't it? Lathandermus?
Nice save.
Actually, if you had just let those poor little bots talk, they actually tried to tell you about the holidays.
The problem is they tried to tell us about everything all at once.
What better way to read the entirety of the lore to you automatically? Even if you don't want to hear it all at once.
You know, there's going to be a plot where the Autonomes are like hacked and take over the ship and send us somewhere that we have to solve a problem at.
Yeah, it's basically when their twin lore takes over.
Yeah, their twin lore, yes.
2 more bots. They're both called lore, still attached. All right. So
only their names, the evil ones' names are Wiki and Pedia.
Oh no. All right. So is that all you need for equipment? Looks like you all are good to go. She doesn't pay you in advance, but she should equip you in advance.
Okay.
Right. I think we're all right here.
And she does bring maps.
Maps are good. Love maps.
Who's our map reader?
Probably be me.
We got a ranger
All
and
right.
a druid. We're both men of the land.
It would probably be me. Navigation is one of my big things, especially as a Circle of Stars druid.
Mhm.
And the fact that it's probably written in Elven, so it kind of leaves it to either Beetlejuice or me.
I have cartographer's tools, which would indicate I have some skill with maps.
And Elvish?
Cryptographer, isn't that more decoding? Navigator is map.
Yes.
Cryptographer is decoding languages.
Is creating maps.
Yeah, cartographer is creating maps.
Oh, did you say cartographer or cryptographer?
Cartographer.
Oh,
Oh, I totally misunderstood.
Yeah, which is why I'm sitting here going,
My bad.
You
Yeah,
can make
cartographer
maps.
is making maps. Yes. So yeah, you can also read them.
Well, we got a bunch of
And
map
the
people.
navigator's tools are actually more for going outside, looking at the sun and the stars and whatnot, and the moss on the trees. And
but
All
that
right.
would indicate that, maybe I have some understanding of
Yeah.
maps, which was where I was going with that.
okay, I
Fair.
thought you said cryptography, not cartography. That was
Go
just
back to your corner.
however, it's still written in Elven.
I mean, we are
If
heading towards a
Well,
crypt.
only you had the cryptography, you could read it and then use the cartography.
I mean, we are heading towards the crypt. Cryptography would be great. Finding our way around that tomb once we get there.
All right.
Valid point.
So for the map readers, you're basically going to be traveling. It looks like it's going to take 2 weeks time. No, a week's time there and a week back. So 2 weeks time total to get there and back, assuming that you spend, a day or two inside the tomb.
Did we pay up for that amount of time for our ship's slip fee?
But you did leave someone there who can cover that if it comes to it. So
Sure.
it's not too big a deal.
Whoa.
And she'll just be like, why is all my money gone? Oh, I should come to games.
Oh,
Actually, the dock you used was fairly inexpensive, so it's not too big a deal.
And since work is being done on the ship by a third party,
That's true too.
that's going to be
They are
factored
gutting your
into
ship
things.
and refitting it.
Yes.
So, all that said, it looks like you're pretty much equipped and ready to go, unless you have any other questions for the lady with the N word,
yeah.
Narifa, not the other N word. Didn't go there.
Narifa, I got some questions about this man who we're taking this sword from. Who was he? What was he like? If there's a trap involved that has to do with like his family or his hobbies or things like that.
One moment, I can't send this with you. It belongs to the library here, and it doesn't belong outside these walls. I wouldn't risk it. And she pulls a really old tome, and for anyone of you that actually has an appreciation of books, weather in this book would mean this book gone.
Yeah.
So yeah, she pulls forth
But
this.
maybe
really,
I can take notes in my own journal from
Absolutely.
that book.
This does look like a Del Starwin kind of thing.
I will, in fact, do just that and take as many notes as I can from this hallowed tome.
All right, yeah, that's totally fine. So she's like gently like turning the pages, and you can tell that she has several bookmarks carefully placed throughout it. And she flips to the pages that seem relevant. It is in Elven, but it is an ancient form of Elven that is slightly close. That is somewhere between Elven and Sylvan. So for those that speak Elven, it's sort of like Italian versus Latin. That's kind of where Elven came from, but you don't necessarily know all the words that you're looking at as you're reading it. And she will explain to you what it means because she seems to be able to read it pretty much just fine. And she says, from my understanding, he was a temple elder. In fact, he was a high priest of Saloon, and essentially there used to be other temples, but then for a while there were, and she goes into like some geographic explanation of when the there were exploding volcanoes and how the landscape changed. And some of the temples got destroyed. And then, there's forest there now. And now this temple's here. But this guy was really big. He was really important. And what she's uncovered is information about the place where he was, the city that used to exist and the temple that used to exist. That basically she's going off of landmarks that they describe that she thinks she has figured out from, and then she goes to the maps that she's showing you. And that is how she's kind of related these two things. But as for exactly who he was the high priest of the temple at the time. Supposedly he died saving people from an invasion because this was back before the spell was cast to make the moon appear barren. And there had been an invasion from, it looks like, she says, she's really torn on this. She wants to say it looks like it's an orc race, but it's not the right word, but the description fits. Unless they have red skin, which this word doesn't translate right, but there was an invasion from the surface, and that was something he died saving his people from. So he was very important there, and he inspired people with this. So being able to claim that he's your ancestor is, that's my point. That's my whole goal. And his name appears in other places. I think I could pull that off, but I would need the artifact.
Right. Did you get all that?
I copied down as much of that as I could. Absolutely, I did.
Okay. I look at the other two. You got any questions or anything? Do you think we can?
Oh, his name was Finsendorl Othrandon. I'm sorry, she would have said that too, but
her name again is Narifa.
Narifa.
It's NaorYpha, Narifa.
Narifa. We're all good.
Honestly, when it starts delving into like the history and stuff, Tinker's probably like.
Can you spell her name again? Sorry.
Nar. I think it's YPHA.
YPHA. Okay.
As y'all are elves, the elves will know that that's just her first name, and I don't think anyone's actually asked for her surname yet.
I'll ask.
Ashgard. Just how it sounds, ASH guard.
Yeah. And this guy was Finsendan.
Oh, he had a crazy name. Finsandorl. F-E-N Sand O-R-A-L. Fin Sand Oral. That's just the first name.
Yeah.
The last name was Othrandronn. Othrandon.
Awesome.
Did one of you make like a big history check on the moon earlier on the people here?
I made one history check. Do you want me to make another?
If you want to, sure. And I have so many tabs open. Hang on. There's the game. All right, with a 13, and plus I think you did well earlier, so I will tell you that you know that the people here, you've been able to pick it up. They're called Lyran or Selunian. You think you've heard the name of the queen is Flandra Alabaster, and that's about it. You don't really know much else. Oh yeah, the money here. Her name's on the picture. You're next to the picture on the money. The queen is also called High Magistrate. Beyond that, I'm not going to give you other details because you didn't roll amazingly.
It's all local politics. I mean, we don't pay that close attention to it in Navy school.
All right. So that's what's going on. Do you have any other questions before you head out on your exciting quest to die on the moon? I mean, to recover a crystal sword. Or die alone on the moon. Whatever.
Well,
Just like
Is
Neil
the rest of
Armstrong
the
did when the aliens took over his body.
is the rest of the crypt to be left completely untouched, or as untouched as we can, or are we allowed to?
She looks like she has like some concern over that as she mulls it over in her head. Finally, she just kind of relents and says, "To be honest, the contents of that crypt have not been seen by anyone for at least 1,000 years, if not longer. I would believe it's been far longer, actually. If it is to be true, if it is truly said that it was before the cover of the moon was made, then you could be walking into a several 1,000-year-old crypt. Whatever is there beyond this one artifact that's mentioned here, I would know nothing of, and neither would anyone else. And I think that's as honest as I can be."
Understood.
However, I would say with discretion, if you see something that you believe to be a holy relic, I could offer a boon to look into it and to take it from you with payment, of course. If it would benefit the church, then I would prefer nothing be sanctified if possible.
Understood.
Hi, we've never been on this moon before. Are there like, what are the creatures like?
Small fuzzy bears with little spears, but beware, they can take down some pretty big mechs.
Right. Cannibals are. Well, they won't be cannibals if they're eating us. But
well, out there, there are many of the similar creatures as you would see on Toril beneath us. But in addition, there are more fey creatures than you would expect. I believe that the moon is a very close tie to the fey realm.
Ooh.
So there are some dangers if you're not familiar with fey creatures, I suppose. Personally, I think the most dangerous creatures I've heard of, there were talking bears and there were these panther-like creatures known as displacer beasts, and she explains what one is, if anyone has. If your character isn't familiar with it, you might not be. They're not frequent, in space. She explains what a displacer beast is, whereas Tinker's like, I know what that is, because you are a fey creature. They're bad kitties.
With big tentacles.
Tentacle kitties are never good. Well, there's a lot of fan art of displacer kittens or cubs.
Yes.
That is ridiculously adorable. I'm just saying, if anyone's watching, feel free to Google. Enjoy that. That's for you.
I love how like academic the name for a displacer beast is. Like they're not called like oculals or something. No, they're displacer beasts.
Well, so many names are more academic than you realize. It's just that we've grown so accustomed to them that we don't think about it. I mean, literally, the octopus, the word 8 is in it.
Oh, yeah. It's very true.
It's just that it's in a language that we don't commonly speak anymore. So instead of calling it an 8-foot, we use a dead language to call it an 8-foot.
Sorry, I thought someone was banging on the door, but it's a canine. So, and I believe that's one that is not actually used. I don't think that's a good example of what we were talking about. So anyway, any other questions? Anything you want to do to get ready before you head out?
I think
how late is it right now?
We'll say that it was midday when you got here. She had to go and get your equipment and all that, and it took her a while. So we'll say it is easily nighttime, a little easier to sneak out, but she will point out that most people can see you within 60 feet. Keep that in mind.
Oh, I mean,
oh yeah, yes, Tinker, that is it, and that is adorable. For those at home, she shared a picture, and it is the displacer kit.
We're not sharing other people's like fan art or anything without their permission.
No, that's on the Discord, dude. We're good.
Yeah, I know. Hey, you can join our Discord if you become a patron. Hey. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah, he botched that one. Oh, well, too late. Anyway. Yeah.
Okay.
So, if you're not doing anything else, if y'all are ready to go, if you want to head out tonight or in the morning, it's up to you. They have the chance of the cover of night being a little bit more helpful from a distance. I mean, there are guard towers, but they are more than 60 feet in the air. They're looking for other things than people scrambling around the ground. If you would like some dark cloaks, you can acquire those. They're not from the temple, not when everybody wearing white, but elsewhere.
Yeah, we should get out of here, but we should also find accommodations for the night and begin the rest of the trek after a rest.
Okay. You do need to sneak out of the city, don't forget. Because remember, the people that are not a part of this group are generally confined to the trade center.
Mhm.
Is it called trade center? That seems unlucky.
We should probably get out first and then just go as long as we can before resting. Because the days
okay.
are really long here anyways.
Camp on the road.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, fair point. Fair point.
Considering the unique situation here.
Yeah. Okay. Fair point.
The days are occasionally interrupted by eclipses. Because if you're going that slow around the planet, but the planet's still turning and you're tide locked, I feel like the sun, I don't know how that works. I feel like it's just weird. Everything is weird about the idea of having a 15-day long day and 15-day long night while tide locked with a planet that has normal ones. I don't know. I'm going to need that like sketched out for me somewhere someday so I can ever wrap my head around it.
Make you an orrery.
It broke my brain. All right. Yeah, I think there will be eclipses during the day occasionally, but I'm not 100% sure. If anybody else is an astronomer, not astrologist, that's the wrong thing. Astronomer, who wants to explain it in the comments, please do. All right, but yeah, you can. I'll say I already said night was starting, so you got 15 days a night. Boom.
All right.
I'm gonna stick with it. I like it. It's fun.
And now is when you unleash all the vampires on us, aren't you?
Oh, sure. Make a Twilight joke.
There's a movie about vampires moving up north for like 28 days of night or something like that.
Yep, and it's based off of a comic book.
Oh, is it? I didn't know that part. I also missed that movie, and I usually love those kinds of silly movies. But all right. Yeah, it could be all vampires out there, but she said connection to the Feywild, not the Shadowfell. So maybe vampire fairies. They're so adorable. Ah, it's biting me. It's biting me.
We just like swarm.
And then there's that one like dwarf who's just spraying them. What'd you think they'd do?
Grant wishes.
All right. So, yeah, she will say if you ask her, she will say she will tell you at least one path out. But if nobody asks her, it's up to y'all guys. You can find.
Oh no, we want the best directions to get out of the city and out of here and out of the city, so that we can actually do this.
She knows how to access a sewer tunnel from the temple, and you can just walk right out to the sewer. If you don't wish to use the sewer, that's up to you.
I'm all right going through the sewer.
And she'll be like, they all went to the bathroom and never returned. How strange. 2 weeks later, oh man, do not go in there.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. Oh, let's do this. Let's get out of here.
All right. Are you guys spend the night in town? Do you want to just go out now? And either way, are you going sewer? You know, what is y'all's plan?
Tinker's got the right idea. We should get out of town fastest, because while three of us could probably pull off pretending to be local citizenry, at least one of us definitely cannot.
True.
You know, mark the date. Note that Tinker was right. I'm going to savor that for a while. So is it dark now?
It is like right now you're in a very long dusk. So it is dim outside, which for a lot of you means 60 feet of bright. I think all of you?
Nope.
I do not have dark vision.
What?
Right?
But you're not human. You're supposed to auto get it as soon as you're here.
I agree.
I don't know. I always felt bad for halflings and dragonborn. They're just like, but we're not human. We want to see in the dark. I'm a freaking dragon. Real dragons have true sight.
Tinker's considering not going through the sewer herself, but flying up really high and then out.
I mean, in theory, you see the guard towers that are like 100 feet in the air, but if you went 200 feet in the air and flew over, they might be like,
it's just a bird.
I don't know.
Maybe.
And since there are Feywild creatures that are native to the planet or to the moon, anyway. Sorry, I have learned that you don't call moons planets. That's been made very clear to me. Paying attention to Dr. Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Okay. I would ask.
I don't know why you don't call moons planets. They're. I mean,
planet just means wanderer.
Mm-hmm.
Tinker's going to ask Nefira if she thinks that might be a viable option for Tinker.
It could. At certain heights, you might attract predators. There are some rather large things that fly about, but beyond that, I don't see a problem. I mean, directly over the city, we don't usually see too many of the bigger things.
Do you think that there's any other way that I'm sneaking out of here other than the sewers?
You will probably be watched. The local guards do kind of keep note of who comes in and who goes. And while I mean you no offense, the Gith are generally watched closer than others.
Right. And if we have a way out through the sewers, we have a way back in through the sewers. Everything is going to be easier if we just take a secret passage out, in my opinion.
I kind of have to agree.
Well, I can escort you into the entrance of this passage. And then on your return trip, you might have to wait a bit. I will check it periodically. I can't stay there constantly. That would be a bit strange. But I promise you, you would not be waiting too long.
All right.
I don't sleep much. A big joke amongst all the elves.
Yeah. All right. Seems like our best bet.
All right.
Down through the underground tunnels.
She makes a show. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I didn't mean to do that. Sorry.
Okay. All right. Yeah. She'll make a show as she walks you through the temple, explain the architecture and its significance and some of the history of Saloon and some of the tenets of their faith and, what it means to be a part of the temple. And as she's giving you this tour, she takes you basically through everything. Nobody really like gives her too much mind for this. This is fairly common. She has like kind of a big tour group, for just her, but not a thing that made people go, hey, that's weird. Kiyosh, you still get looks. Tinker actually gets some looks because she's a full-fledged fairy, and that's not necessarily a common person. but she doesn't get looks of like suspicion, just sort of looks like, oh, hey, did you see a fairy just go by? That's weird.
That's cool. Don't get them here very often.
Yeah.
He's wearing goggles. Maybe he has eye problems. So, but she'll lead you through, and then she will take you basically by where there are obviously restrooms, and to the back where there is an area that is used for cleaning. It looks like you're not sure what gets cleaned here, whether it's really large people or animals. Something gets cleaned back here that gets rinsed off and through a big grate is where everything kind of flows. And you can hear water running on the other side of the grate, and you realize that it kind of runs from all of the other restrooms that you have passed. This is a evacuation area of undesirable stuff, and that's where you're going.
Does it require swimming?
Oh no, there's a place to walk. At least I haven't gone far in, but I think so. I think you can walk all the way.
That's good.
I do know where it comes out. I can tell you that at the end there is a drop that the water kind of comes out directly down into a valley. I wouldn't recommend trying to ride the water for multiple reasons, but also the drop at the end might be dangerous. I'm not sure if you would land in deep enough water for that to be sustainable. Also, I don't think
how far down is it?
I'm not really an architect or a geographer. I couldn't really tell you how far it is. I don't walk through it. I would have to go outside the city and come out to it. But if I were to guess, I would say it must be less than a mile. Probably maybe, for our Canadian friends, I would say maybe just less than a kilometer.
Okay, so a half mile.
Yes. I was going to say a half mile, but I would have went kilometer just for you, man.
All right. So that's pretty far.
Yes, a bit of a walk, but you should be. I mean, you're going to be out of the elements. Well, except for one. You should
All
be
right.
fine, I'd imagine.
All right. Well, let's do this. Let's get going here.
All right. She'll look at. I guess Kios is probably the beefiest looking fellow here. Would you mind? And she'll point at the grate, and she'll show you where it has been loosened for you to pry it off.
Oh.
All right. And she'll let you in. Then as y'all are getting in, she'll ask you if you mind closing it. You can tell she just really doesn't want to touch the poop grate.
I will.
Yeah.
I'm going to catch her right before I close it. We will get this sword for you, Narifa. Tell me, is it better to be feared or loved?
I suppose both would include a form of respect. My first thought was respect, but loved? I think I would say loved.
Elves. And I close the gate.
You know what, sir? If you need an inspiration, you can have one back. That's cool.
Thank you.
All right. Also, for the only person that can't see it here, it's dim light for three of you, dark for one of you. Would you like to light a torch?
I will.
I have dancing lights.
Oh, you do? He pulls out a torch. You see him pulling it out and looking for the flint and the steel, and you're like, oh, and three orbs appear. I think it's 3. And you can spread them out however you like.
Here, I'll just
if it doesn't appear as long as it has the same basic mechanical effect, you can describe your magic as you like.
No, I just little 3 spheres like to spin around one another for the moment. It says up to 4, but I've got 3, kind of like Bowie in
Goblin
Labyrinth,
King.
how he's got the 3
right.
balls rotating in his hand. Only it's floating in the air.
Okay. like starts in your hand and then just lifts up into the air.
Pretty much, yep.
All right, cool. And you saved a torch. Those packs only come with 10.
Yeah.
All right. Well, with the addition of light, there will be no cruel checks to maneuver around and see who steps in the sledge, except of course for Tinker, who does not. And you all begin to maneuver forward. The tunnel is wide enough that you can single file, and you can stay. You can either single file or you can do straddle either side of the thing going 2x2, but then you're really close to the wall. If you single file it, you straddle it like 1 foot on one side, one on the other, because it's about like 2 or 3 feet wide at places, and it's just like a gutter going through the middle of the tunnel, and it's just there's a smell that you have been finding unpleasant for a while, and it is intense in here. And in the light, you can also see that the walls are moist. It's very dank in here. The sludge is moving, and some of it like is moving really slow as there are trickles that kind of go fast around the slower moving blobs.
You don't have to go into details on this. It's okay.
You see some peanuts in it, some corn.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it. I'm out.
Well, I think given everyone's maneuverability in the party, I'll be taking up the rear.
All right. Y'all begin your march down. Who's in the front? And are you going single file or 2x2?
Definitely
I'm probably
single
in
file.
front.
All right.
I'll go second.
All right.
We're
Del, you're
definitely doing
second.
single file.
I feel that's Beetlejuice in between Del and Kios, and away you go. You start making your way down. Tinker, as the person who's taking the lead. What is the range on dancing lights? Is that 30 or 60?
120.
120? Oh, wow, that's great. How far ahead do you go though? Each ball has like a certain radius.
Each light sheds dim light in a 10-foot radius. So, I mean, I've got,
so
I've just kind of got them spinning around so that we've got enough light to.
So you can send it up to 120 feet ahead, and that dim light becomes bright light for all y'all. Oh, most of y'all. All right. So, Tinker, you're not at any type of disadvantage as you are the one in the lead. Give me a perception check. You know, angled right, dancing light is actually a little bit better than the just regular light cantrip.
Mm-hmm.
They have to concentrate, I think.
Says you can combine the 4 lights into one glowing, vaguely humanoid form of medium size. So I could have somebody walking ahead of us that's a glowing being of light.
Tinker, as you're floating, you feel something wet like hit you on your back, like right.
Oh God, it touched me. Oh God.
You look up and you're like, oh, the ceiling is slimy and dank too. There's like a little drip of some sort of juice just running down your back. And so that is what you notice. Just horrified. It hit you just right, like it's going down into your clothing. You're like,
so,
no.
In one of my old campaigns, the joke was every time we flubbed a perception check, it was because there was poop on your shoe and you were trying to get it off. You know, it'd be like,
now it's happening for real.
Never heard of, oh God, there's poo on my wings before.
Oh God, she's flapping them. It's all coming off everywhere. It's like
this is not okay. This is not okay.
All right. So she is kind of horrified, and she's being a little bit distracting, but Del, you can at disadvantage because now she's being weird. Make the same check, perception.
Weirder than usual.
Disadvantage perception check.
Okay. All right. Essentially, as you are moving forward, you're trying to tell if you hear something ahead or if there is just the tinkling of the water. And then the other tink starts tinkling, and And she's like going, ew, ew, ew. You're like, yeah, I don't know what I was listening to. Was there something? You're not sure. And therefore, as it comes at you, no one is able to ready a weapon this round. Um, Coming at you somewhat stealthily, a creature comes snaking up out of the poo, and it looks worm-like and just kind of horrific. And Tink and Dell are in the lead. While Tink is in the air, she's not that far in the air because the tunnel's not that big. So I'm going to say, Tink, you're odd. Dell, you're even for my attack round. So that's odd. All right, Tink. Sorry. I am going to roll to hit you because I would. Why would I not? Yes, that is the plan. All right. Does a 15 hit Tinker?
My AC is 15.
Ah, sorry. So that basically becomes my difficulty, which I have met. So, sorry for that. It is a D4, and you have to make, unless you have do you have advantage on anything versus, it says poison. You have to make a con save after the damage. You take 3 piercing. Either way, you're making a DC 12 con save. If you have advantage versus poison, that's cool. I don't think fairies do.
No.
Right.
So con save.
Yeah.
I am going to use my inspiration.
Well, yeah, you can roll the die first. And if you don't like it, then roll the inspiration.
Gotcha. Constitution.
So you
Yeah.
12, and it was DC 12. So you feel like this stuff like sinking into you after not just when the worm bites onto you, has it feels like just like a Brillo of little needles just coming out of its mouth and then turning and sinking into you, trying to pull your flesh in.
Bad touch! Does not feel good.
In addition to that, you feel like a burning sensation begin to spread through your arm, but you knock the thing off and you shake your arm, and it doesn't get any worse, but it's still worrying. You don't know what that was, and it was kind of horrifying. And as you get a good look at the creature, you don't see any eyes on it. It's kind of like the color of just like a pinkish, almost somewhere between pink and brown. It's really long, and the mouth on it is basically an O at the tip of it that is just filled with millions of little needly teeth that seem to flex outward and then pull in as it's doing that next to you after you knock it off, like it's going to try again. At which point, that is it's now that gets that, and it dives back down under the water because it can. It says that it can, therefore I'm using it. Sploosh. Everybody saw her get bit. You can now go into initiative. I could have had y'all roll initiative to begin with, but basically it had a round where you couldn't do anything, so it was kind of a moot point, even though they don't call it a surprise anymore. I don't know. There are weird rules for surprise now.
Don't let it touch you.
Anything that comes out of poo, I think, is generally a don't let that touch me. Oh, I go on 16. Oh, hang on. Work you. All right. All right, Dill, what's your initiative?
16.
Oh, we tied. What is your bonus to initiative?
2.
We tied there too, I think. Didn't we? Yeah, we did. You know what? I'm going to give it to the PC. That's how nice I am.
All right.
All right. Ramush.
I have a 19.
All right, cool. Tinker.
What did I get? I just rolled, but
17.
Cool. And Kios.
Taking up the rear with 13.
Cool. All right, then. Everybody but Kios looks like they're before me, starting with Ramouche Beetlejuice. You can maneuver around a friendly person to get to where it directly, it's directly in front of him, or it last was, and it dived into the water.
It's okay.
So you can maneuver over there, but it is water. So or thick, gross brown water you can't really see through. It's obscured. What would you like to do?
So I don't need to maneuver anywhere to get over anywhere because my whip has a 10-foot reach.
True.
So as long as people don't run away from me, I should be fine. So what I'm going to do...
Can you reach over or through someone else's hex, though? Or
Yes,
someone else's square?
You can. No rule
And then
against
hit
that.
the person on the far side of them?
Yeah, I can go
All right.
over somebody and hit them on the far side. There's no rule against that.
Well, you're in a tunnel. You haven't got like open sky over you.
I mean,
I'm trying to
unless you
picture
say
out
I-
how that would work, because if you're lashing it out to the left or the right or over,
Unless you say I can't, the rules don't say I can't. But
I know
if you're the game
people
master. You can change that by saying no, how the things are and the things and blah blah blah, and I'll be
Well,
like,
even-
okay, well then that won't work.
I'm
I
just
mean-
gonna say
Go
that
ahead.
I know people in real life who can do that. So
in a tunnel, because it can't.
how tall is the tunnel?
It's a whip.
I mean, it's like about like 6 feet over it, or it'd be 7 feet. I mean, you're not scraping your heads for the
Yeah,
6
because it's not always like this. You can also do like the quick snaking.
like a straightforward,
Yeah.
maybe. But all right,
Yeah,
Around
I don't-
beside the person, yeah.
Yeah, because you can also do an
I'm going
upward.
to give it. What I will say then is, because there is a person in between, I'm going to give it, and you can't arc it. I'm going to give it a bonus to its AC,
Okay. Anyways,
but not the 3/4. You're at disadvantage. Just an AC bonus.
so what I'm gonna do is, as a bonus action, cast Ensnaring Strike. So when it pops out to attack and I can hit it, it'll be stuck, which should work. Hopefully. And then as my regular, because that's a bonus action.
Yeah.
And as a
You can't see it though. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm casting a Ensnaring Strike as a bonus action, so when I hit it, it becomes ensnared. As a readied action, when it pops up, I hit it with my whip.
Okay.
Because the next time I hit a creature with a weapon attack before the spell ends, a writhing mass of thorny vines appear. Basically, it pops out to attack, I hit it, and then it's stuck. We can all hit it. That's the plan.
Sounds good to me.
And that is what I do. Should I move to get to a better location to hit it? Or am I fine here? I don't know I really don't understand what everything looks like. So
You're in a tunnel that is about 7 feet high and about 8 feet wide, like not quite a full 2 boxes on a map wide.
right.
And there is a 3 foot down the middle sewage thing, and you think it's in the sewage in
Got
front
it.
of y'all.
Okay, then we're perfectly fine. I'm okay
And-
with what I've done. Moving on. Next person
Okay.
may go.
All right. So on your action, you are basically holding till you see it.
I am. Well, there's no hold action in it.
Well,
can-
what you can do is you can ready your action and
exactly.
to go instead of your reflex action.
Yes, I readied it. When
Or
I
as
see
your
it,
reflex.
I hit it. There you go.
Okay. All righty. Then next after you is Kihos, and then Dell. You're on deck. I mean, not
no,
Kihos. Tinker than Dell. Kihos was last, right?
Yeah.
All right. My bad. Tinker.
Okay. Tinker's going. Ah! Busts out her light crossbow.
Okay. It's somewhere in the water. It is obscured, which means you have disadvantage essentially
Yep.
if you are
So-
firing. Are you going to hold or fire?
She's gonna
Mhm.
hold.
Okay, so As when it comes up, when it becomes visible as a reflex, you may shoot it. All right. Do you want to do anything with your bonus action or your movement in that time?
Nope.
All right, you stay where you are. Dill.
All right. So I have I've got the feat Spell Sniper, which I took at 4th level, which allows me to ignore half cover and 3/4 cover with ranged attack spells.
All right, I was ruling that the obscurement was putting you at disadvantage, same as 3/4 cover. So there you go.
Okay. And I'm going to shoot it with an Eldritch Blast, which I learned with this feat. So, kablooey.
That will hit me. Just barely. On the nose, at a 22 AC. I'm actually made out of mithril.
For 5 force damage.
Okay. You, boom, your sickly green light ignites and blasts the water. The water shoots up, but you can see it clearly as the water parts, and you definitely have shot a hole in this thing. And it flashes. There's a big splash, much bigger than your Eldritch Blast would have done. And I will mark off the 5 damage. All right. And that brings us to the monster, I believe. All right. You hit me. She flew away from me. I don't like being hit. Is going to go for you. It's going to attack you, and 2 more are going to swim up alongside it, and they are going to attack Tinker because she's in the front. And I'm trying to see if I have a good reason to go past Dell to Beetlejuice or not. I'm going to say it's unlikely to hit Beetlejuice. So Beetlejuice, you're only on a 4 or a 5. So this thing will switch. There we go. D6. Boop. 6. Screw Beetlejuice. He goes right through Dell's legs. Comes up for Beetlejuice. All right. So let's do that first. Starting with Dell. What is my bonus to hit? He says I have +5 to hit. Roll. 20 hits, I assume.
Oh, yeah.
All right. And is only a D4 of damage as these little needles start to scrape into your skin. Wow, you take 1 point of damage, but please make a con save. It's like there's so many needles, it's almost like being burned. And you do feel like the spreading of an additional burning sensation, but again, just like Tink, you are able to beat that thing away and knock it off you before you think anything lasting was done. But you have the sense that these things are worse than the initial bite. Probably, most definitely. All right. So that's that. I'm also attacking Tinker and Beetlejuice because I'm mean and I like to attack people. Tinker, does a 12 hit you?
No.
Okay. And Beetlejuice, does a 21 hit you?
I believe that hits me.
All right. DC 12 con save. And take a point of damage. They're really all about this poison getting into you. If I can get it into you, it's going to suck. It's not. Y'all are all apparently
Did you say
heavy
12?
drinkers or something. Oh, hey, it actually.
Oh,
You got me. That said,
Right.
I get to attack it before it hits me because I have the reaction.
You were aiming at the one that was attacking Dell, but you can
I
shoot
said
it.
when
Yeah.
I see it, whatever. But yeah, sure, whatever. Dell's mine, whatever. I get to hit one.
The other 2 had not appeared yet, so you couldn't have been planning for them on your turn.
did they come from the same rough spot?
The same rough area, but technically,
Then why would he think it
I
any
don't-
different?
Yeah,
I mean, I don't really care.
I don't know one snake from another snake. The first one I see, I was ready for a snake to pop up.
That's fair.
That's not a snake.
Anyways,
I'll allow it, Corey. Go ahead. I'll allow
Put
it.
your pants back on,
If you hit
Ketos.
me before I hit you, then you will not be bit.
okay. Let me hit it with my whip. 17.
17 does hit me.
Okay. Let me do damage. 8 points of damage.
Okay. 8 points?
Yes.
All right. It is still up. Is there a save or?
Hold on. A mass of thorny vines appears. The target must succeed on a strength saving throw or be restrained. If he's restrained, he can still hit
+3.
me. So.
Oh, okay. Well, then you take a point and you will take additional in a second, but let me make my strength check first, I guess. Boop, boop. No, I did not succeed on the strength throw.
Let me just double check here on conditions here. Conditions 5E, and we're looking for restrained. Restrained becomes 0. Attack rolls against the creatures have advantage. Attack rolls have the creature's attack rolls have disadvantage, and the creature has
okay. So I'll roll again.
disadvantage on saving throws.
All right. So it already hit with the first, but we'll double check it. A 10 does not hit you, so I'm guessing it misses.
Okay, it does miss me. Excellent. Also, I get a second attack.
You not until your turn.
No, this is my fighting style. When I hit something, I can now hit another thing, I believe. Let me double check.
As a what? As a reflex or a bonus action? Because you can't use those.
I'm not using. Hold on. Give me a second so I can. Horde Breaker. Once on each here. When you make a weapon attack, you can make another attack with the same weapon, a different creature that is within 5 feet of the original target within your weapon's range.
Okay. Well then, cool. Go for it.
I'll be right back. Quick bio.
Whip. That's a 12. I'm not sure that hits anything.
12 does not effectively hit me.
Okay. That's all right.
Your whip comes near it, and for a moment, one of them mistakes the whip for maybe another one of them. They make some lovey eyes, but it doesn't work out. All right. After that, the creatures went, and after the creatures go, I believe it's just Kihos.
By the way, also, when a creature within 5 feet of me makes an attack against a target other than me, so was one of them popped out near me but attacked a friend? I also
the first one did. Yeah, they all did.
Okay, then I also get another attack.
No, you used a reaction for a held action.
Held action is a reaction? Oh, I
yeah,
guess so.
Okay. Your reaction becomes dedicated to what your action would have been.
Got it. You're right. Okay. So my sentinel doesn't come into play.
No.
I'm perfectly okay with that.
All right, Kios.
All right. I'm going to be the stickler. So, Del, you were hit, right?
I was.
Because you're concentrating on dancing lights.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Good point.
Oh,
that's the one drawback of dancing lights over light.
Yep. So, concentration roll. That's a constitution save, isn't it?
It is.
And even though it's 1 damage, it's still a minimum of 10.
I just got to beat 10.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, we're still good.
Thanks.
It's a good call, though. It is.
I appreciate the honesty.
So I would like to try to position my way, because Beetlejuice definitely just took quick action on that one. So I'm going to try to get up to the front, in front of Del, and attack that one.
Like I say, the tunnel's about 8 feet wide. They're all friendly. You know, your people are friendly, so you can move through them without a problem.
Cool. So I'm going to position myself theoretically between Del and Tinker at this point as I attack the snake that attacked Del.
Okay.
With an 18 for 10 damage.
10? All right. And yeah, 18 hits. But I think you knew that. All right. And the one that attacked Dell has not been hit yet. So he gets a -10.
Oh, they didn't duck back down. Oh, we're still doing reactions.
Let's see. Actually, wait, that's right. They would have ducked back down, and it's not his reaction. This is his action. He goes last.
Oh. The only one that's actually out is the one I've restrained.
That's true. You would have to hit the same one because you can take the disadvantage and strike into the water, or you can hit the restrained one at advantage.
I'll take the disadvantage. I'll attempt to get the one that's going away. That's the pouncing instinct. So I'll roll again.
Yeah, you can keep the damage if you want. Yeah, that'll hit. All right. He was trying to go, and you nailed him anyway. Ruined his day. So that was the one that attacked Dell. And then we have the restrained one. I'm giving them phone names so I can keep track who's who. And then we have the guy who's just fine. All right. And by guy, I mean, I don't know, gender neutral? Probably something gross.
I don't know. It's all kind of snaky.
All right. So back to the top of the initiative, I believe. The top of the initiative is with a 19.
Yep.
Beetlejuice?
Yep. So I'm gonna hit this guy that I've ensnared. With my whip. That misses. I don't have to. I don't have to hit him to use my horde breaker. I can just.
Don't you have advantage to hit him?
Oh, I do have advantage. You're right. Let me try again. There, that got him.
Hey.
So that's another 9 points damage.
All right.
And then I get to make an attack against another creature. This one will be at disadvantage because they're under the water.
Okay. That one dies, by the way.
Oh, good. Well, then I think that's my spell. I think.
Wait. Oh, wait. No, I added that to the wrong one. He is still alive. I'm a liar.
Okay.
But at the beginning of its turn, it takes another d6 of damage.
It will take another d6 at the beginning of its turn.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is the same one I hit last turn as my second attack, I'll hit again at disadvantage because it's under the water.
Okay. And
that's a 16 to hit.
That'll do it.
And that's a 9 points of damage.
All right. And that was the one that was already hit that you were aiming for?
Yeah, that was not the one that was attacking me, but the second one that I was attacking that's 5 foot from the first one.
Right. That was Dell's. All right. And I say that because it bit Dell. He also bit Tinker. I mean, he's a bitey fellow, or he used to be. Now he's dead. And there are, in theory, 2 left. We are down to Tinker, and then Dell, you're on deck.
Tinker is going to go pew pew.
Yeah, everybody in the sewer is saying that.
Pew pew. I
am a dad. I'm allowed.
That was a botch. So.
Well, which one are you attacking? Because you either have advantage or disadvantage because one is stuck and one is underwater.
I'd be going for the one that was stuck.
Then you have advantage.
Shoot again.
Yeah. Forgot about the advantage part.
All right, so you would have hit. I guess I'll take the second damage and be nice. So 9 piercing?
Yeah.
All right. The restrained one is no longer restrained. Ha ha. Because he's dead. Shelly, right out of that restraint. Or it hangs limply from your whip. I'm not real sure how the snare works. No,
the thorns.
Come up and grab it. So it's hanging limply in thorns. Let's see here. It is after Tinker. It is Dell.
So there's one left, right?
In theory, somewhere in that water, probably.
I don't have to worry about the three-quarter cover for it because I'm a spell sniper. So Bang. Of course,
Yeah, it does help to hit.
But I didn't have to have disadvantage.
Splish splash. You shoot a random floater. Gone. It was not the head of the demon. And it is now my turn to, well, let's see. I'm not terribly bright. It is hungry. Everybody else is dead, but I'm not terribly bright. So you know what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to attack. Oh, well, I think all four of you are perfectly able to be bit. So I'm going to go by the order that I see you in, which is Beetlejuice, Dell, Tinker, and Kios. And I rolled a Dell. Dell, you shot at me. You know what that means?
I get an attack of opportunity against it since I'm a sentinel.
Okay. In that case, I think that happens simultaneously, so I still get to try and hurt him.
Yeah.
Before I die horribly. Okay, now kill me horribly. I don't think I got to poison him.
I rolled with disadvantage and still got a double crit.
And that it explodes like the Death Star.
Well, he was fine. So he takes, is that a total of 8?
Yeah, a total of 8. It's not that great. It's
You
still-
you whip it out there so quick, though. It's still very impressive. And that's probably why he missed Dell completely. He's like, you look like he was dead center, just pow, right in the water. Which he will dive into, and he's going to take his full movement to get out of there, which does leave him open to attacks of opportunity by anyone with a melee weapon, but you are all at disadvantage with a melee weapon.
Let's go.
Except, well, and you can't have already gone. So really, it's just Kinos.
yeah. I already used it.
Yeah. All right. So Kios, yeah, you were disadvantaged. Sorry, man. 11 does not strike me. I slithered the fuck away because I was already on the fence about whether I keep attacking, and then he came out the water, got hit so fast it scared the crap out of him.
Literally.
All right. That was awful. Those things are awful. Those wounds look gross.
We're surrounded by awful.
As Dell already
They
considered,
really are.
there is still a chance of infection that's unrelated to his special bite power. Not that you ever got to witness it. It was going to be annoying, I promise.
We're not in a good place for me to clean these off properly, though. I want to get us out of here as quick as we can, and as soon as we're outside, I'm cleaning the wounds.
Yeah.
Who's been bit? Who's affected?
Me.
You too?
Yeah.
Well, I'll do some quick work of that. I will spend 10 hit points from my lay on hands to just cure.
I only took one, so.
Well, for
Alright.
both you and come here, bring it in.
I
Group
took
hug.
3.
Good job.
All right. You have 6 left of the 10 you tried to spend. You're like, I can't do it. You try to
All
push
right.
it in them. For a moment, Tinker looks a little bigger, but it doesn't quite take.
Oh God! Don't touch me! Don't touch me! You don't want to touch me.
No, sorry, I'm not giving you. I'm not healing you with that. If I use 5 hit points per, I can heal you of any disease or anything.
Oh.
Yeah. You've got a paladin with
Understood.
you. Yes.
Understood.
Neat.
So,
Yeah.
fixed any sepsis. Gotcha.
Come on, soldier. We got to make it through this tunnel before those things attack again.
We do. Let's keep going.
All right. As y'all begin to move forward, I'll let or let's see. I think that we had a 14 was your general perception, passive. The
Yes.
people in the lead whoever's taking lead want to go ahead and be active, or you want to just go with that?
I'll just go with that.
Okay. Well, all right then. You continue forward. Similar pattern as to who's walking where. All right.
I think so.
Okay. Y'all move forward, and you are able to get you travel for like half an hour through this dank, horrible place. You don't see anything. You occasionally hear a slither in the water, and y'all like stop and look and double check, and you think whatever was in there is sufficiently worried about you that it's not going to come for you right now. It's sensed now that you are the bigger predator.
Fear
It finally gets to
me.
a point where you see a dim light up ahead. And as you keep moving, the light doesn't get too much brighter because it's dim light outside.
Don't care.
You
It's
also
still
hear the
fresh air.
crashing of water. And where the tunnel comes out, she was right. It just starts going like straight down the cliff face into some water below, and it looks rocky. You do see a valley opening out beneath you or around you. And you can either use rope and climb down, or you can, I don't know, use your fingers and be all awesome, or just watch Tinker go. Bye-bye. Go back with the crystal sword.
How far is it
How
down
far
there?
down? Yeah.
How far is it?
If he makes the little globes go down, you can all clearly see. Well, for most of you can clearly see that you're looking at. It's not quite 100 feet. You probably guess about 80.
Oh, that's pretty far.
Well, if we tie a couple of our ropes together, we can.
She
Make
didn't
it
tell
down.
us. She didn't tell us this came out over a giant cliff.
Yeah, she did actually, and that's
Oh,
what I
did
was
she?
trying to find out when I was asking about distance.
I
But she
forgot
gave us the
that.
distance to the mouth of the thing, not the distance down.
Well, she did explain that it was a drop, though. She made that.
Yeah. She did, yeah.
I don't think anyone asked her how far of a drop, but she did suggest that you shouldn't fall.
That's actually what I did ask, but then she said it's about a half a mile to through
Oh,
the tunnels.
I misunderstood. Okay. I thought you were wondering how long of a walk you were taking.
No, I wanted to know how far the drop was,
Okay.
but now I can see it's about 80 feet. So that's
To be honest, she would have probably overestimated anyway. It looks huge. When you're
Yeah.
down at the ground, you're looking up. It's really far up there.
yeah.
I guess we better get some rope out. I've got my 50 feet of rope.
I've got a 50-footer. We can tie those together. Heck, we can even tie knots in the ropes to make climbing easier.
Unless
Ooh, somebody's a Boy Scout.
unless we use
Yeah, Boy Scouts of Canada, is that a thing?
Yes, it is.
Ah, cool. I assume you don't call it Boy Scouts of America.
No, we call it Boy Scouts of Canada or
Oh.
Boy Scouts.
Girl Scouts, though, are Girl Guides.
Girl Guides, that's right.
Oh, well. Well, Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts are not the same company.
No, but nowadays, at least, girls can join the Boy Scouts.
That is new. I heard about that.
So,
So, y'all can make a rope. Since you're putting knots in it, I'll give you athletics with advantage. Since somebody said, "Hey, let's make knots in the rope," that's pretty smart. So you can make advantage athletic check to get down the 80-foot wall. Don't roll ones. Tinker, you don't have to roll unless you're just feeling like being silly.
I got a 15.
Oh, I fell. Just kidding. All right. Bill, you have advantage if you want it.
oh yeah, I'll try it again just to see what I get.
There
All
you
right.
go.
You are all able to. It's a long climb. Some of you are getting a little tired, but you are able to get down there.
Okay,
Um,
and then Tinker can go untie our rope from the top so we can have our ropes back.
pretty much, 80 feet of rope is actually a little bit heavy as Tinker just like undoes it. It's gone.
Yeah,
That's
she
okay.
just throws it after she unties it. Like, there you go.
Oh, you wanted me to wait until you guys were done climbing down before I untied it.
As soon as he's like over the edge, oh, I guess he's done with this. It's
What
only
you get for calling me a
falling
bug?
damage for 10 feet, I think. You'll be fine.
I didn't call anyone a bug.
All right.
Yeah.
So, yes, everybody gets down just fine. No falling shenanigans. The where it hits the water, there is enough rocks and stuff that you are able to walk around and maneuver about and get to the shore. You don't have to walk through the sewer sledge too bad. Although, I mean, nobody's shoes are clean except Tinker's. But her wings aren't clean, so that's a good trade-off.
Oh, they're going to be clean very soon.
We'll try and find somewhere that we can clean ourselves up a little bit.
Yeah, Tinker would probably have a fire going, like a protected fire, trying to, in a way, so that way she's not basically building a fire right at the base of a tree out in the open for all the light to be seen for miles around. She's not doing any of that.
Nate, your best guess of where to put that fire would be based on your survival check. Don't worry, it's wisdom based.
And sorry, did you say that there is a like a river or something like that?
There is a river continuing on from this.
Okay, we can use that to kind of quickly wash ourselves off.
Yeah, that's
literally
all I care
wash
about.
the shit off of us.
I don't know why Chink's building a fire over there.
To warm up after we wash off.
As the sun's going down.
It will be getting colder. I would tell you exactly how much colder had you brought a certain little android with you.
The sun's going down. Oh, it'll be going down for a few days now.
You'd know about that, wouldn't you, Corey?
All right.
Being so far north.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean,
I visited once. It was pretty crazy. I remember just like not being sure if I was supposed to go to sleep or not because it was in the summer.
I remember being in Trondheim in early July, so just after the summer solstice, and getting about 10 minutes of darkness around midnight.
Ugh.
I remember visiting family in Alaska, both during the summer and during the winter, and talk about extremes.
Well, for my first experience in the extra daylight, it didn't help that I partook of a thing legal in Alaska. But I will say that Corey has a very cool father-in-law who likes to share his stuff. By that, I mean just tobacco, of course.
So
I assumed whiskey. I'm sorry.
Sure, that. Anyway, so
it was actually just special cool dice that he owns for his special Dungeons and Dragons game.
that's what it was. I partook of his dice. His dice tower is amazing. Took a few hits off that. Now that I've said it, somewhere out there,
Canadian, I sometimes forget that you guys still have those challenges.
Not for long. Not for long.
I want to go to I actually want to do a little what's it called? Vacation in Canada, because there are certain dispensaries there that the police don't seem to shut down that are technically illegal.
No,
No,
not really.
Are you talking like mushroom dispensaries or what?
Yeah, mushrooms.
Oh, those.
Okay.
Oh, hell.
That had to be where it was going.
I was like, oh, in that case, I'd just go talk to some friends of mine and go, hey, let's go find some and pick them.
I live in a state in America where both of those things are legal recreationally.
Oh, nice.
Pretty cool. Yeah.
There we go.
So everybody just pass your mailing address to Kios.
Yeah, because mailing it out of state will get, let alone country.
I don't know
if
I mail a letter to Kios if it'll arrive. I think Spike would be a better person.
I think if he did want to do that, he dropped off at the post office anonymously. no return address.
No, I mean Kios is a Yankee. Spike is a never mind.
Player.
Oh, I could be a gift
So-
too. It's just the nose, right? And teeth.
That's a good look for you, man. Show all those viewers all those nose hairs.
I feel like their skin's yellow, or they could have just been the weird artwork from the Fiend Folio when they first started.
No, they always seem sallow. So are we camping then? Now that we're out?
Our survivalists, the ranger and the druid.
Tinker goes, I made a fire.
She did, and it's a little too close to some low-hanging plants, and will probably be a much bigger fire very soon.
Yes, that's,
But it is. She did obviously think to keep it a certain distance from the smell and the water, and she did do it underneath the overarching branches so that it's not obvious to other things that might be looking around from a distance. But unfortunately, they're hanging a little too low.
I put the fire out.
Yeah. Let's. You did a good job, but it was a little too close to some other stuff that's probably going to catch too.
You're gonna burn down the forest, mate.
On the upside, if the entire forest is on fire, it'll be very warm and no one will know who started it. So therefore, they won't be looking for you.
It'll make getting back into the city really easy then, because everyone will be distracted. No more poop monsters.
What?
I want to look for a good camping spot.
All right. No, you find an amazing spot. It's actually not even far from where Tinker was, but it's just the different formation of the trees. It just works out a lot better. And you can see some good stones that you can lay around if you want to make a circle around the fire with them. And there are some areas that you don't think you'll have to turn up too many stones to lay out your bedrolls.
All right. Here we go. Tinker, you can make your fire here.
Tinker, there's a chance, based on your rolls and your wisdom, that they purposely just didn't like your spot and they just wanted to move it a little so they could pretend like they did better.
Of course. She's like, no, you know everything. You're the druid. You can do it just fine. Show me how it's done.
Whatever, then I'll build the fire too.
We're just trying to protect you from bears that wear hats and clobber you with shovels if you don't do fires right.
Elves, man. I don't know.
Right?
Was Woodsy Owl only concerned with littering? Is that what it was?
Yes. Give a hoot, don't pollute.
So who wants first watch?
The three animals that tried to make you behave back in the 80s, I believe, was the Smokey the Bear, it was a Hootie the Owl? Woodsy Owl, and of course McGruff the crime dog.
Which would be a terrible Avengers movie. I'm just saying.
They need a cinematic universe. It's coming.
They'll go up against the Aflac duck.
The after school special extended universe.
All right. Give me a watch order real quick. I'm assuming that y'all are taking them. I know that some of you only sleep for a little bit.
Who wants first watch?
I'll take first watch.
Okay.
I'll take the mids, like the third or something.
Okay. So we got first and third. Who's 2 and 4?
I'll take 2.
All right. Cool.
All right. Yeah.
Roll some things.
Okay. Now, I rolled another roll earlier, so I'm all good. I'm all caught up in my rolling. I know who dies and how. I've actually already written out all of your deaths. They're all pre-planned. I have entire scripted sheets for you.
It is
Wait,
3 hours.
how did I drown in the middle of a desert?
Just a reminder
Only
to Howard,
Tinker.
just our game master. We are at the 3 hour mark.
All right. Oh, we're getting there. Yeah, we're getting there. We're not there.
You can put off your plans for murder till next time. Cliffhanger.
The first watch, I double check. Yeah, the first watch goes uneventfully, as does the second and third. And you, all of you will hear, forest creatures and that. I will say that Tinker, being that you're a fey creature, I'm going to give you this, that you're slightly more attuned to this specifically, that occasionally there are distant lights in the forest that you think are probably ambient creatures. And then the fourth watch, which I think was Beetlejuice.
Yep.
No. Yeah. Beetlejuice. Yeah.
Yeah. On your watch, you need to make a wisdom save. Oh wait, you're an elf, aren't you?
Yep.
Let me double check something real quick.
I'm immune to the sleepy stuff.
Yeah, I knew. How'd that work then? That's not really sleepy stuff. So you know what? Yeah, you'd still make a wisdom save.
Okay. Is it a charm spell?
No.
Okay. I will make a wisdom save. Sitting.
All right. That's a strong save. You feel as you are in your you are sitting there, you are not in your trance. You've already had your trance.
Mm-hmm.
So as you are just sitting there, just kind of keeping a lookout, listening to the sounds, watching, for a moment, you feel like a presence. Has anyone ever used telepathy on your character before?
I don't unless like the space vampires that stole my
Oh
gear.
yeah, yes. Actually, no, not this. I don't know about space vampires, but yes, you have felt this before. There was a big, horrible green frog monster with
Yes.
tentacle face.
That's right.
You feel a feeling similar to that, but not as forcefully intrusive, because that one was dickish. Actually, this would be closer to what you felt from the Beholder. Oh, there's lots of telepathy in this game. I need to pay attention.
So much telepathy.
All sorts of things just want to talk in your head. This time it feels almost like a nudge, like someone is almost like asking to tell you something, but you do feel like some pressure, like they're trying to push a thought into your head. You have the option, because you made the resistance. You can force it out, or you can allow it to happen. You don't know who it is. They're not. You don't know what they're saying yet until you decide.
Yeah, I don't. I'm suspicious of things, as have already been established earlier in this exact game. I am suspicious of things who want to intrude on my thoughts, so I will immediately pop up and yell an alert and look around for the thing that's trying to be in my head.
All right. And with that, the feeling goes away. You see nothing, but you are ready for combat.
I look around to see what it is, because I'm still awake since I.
Yeah, you've had your little rest.
Too.
If you yell out or anything, everybody else can wake up. If you don't, then they don't.
I said I yell an alarm.
Oh, okay. Well, then, yeah, y'all wake up. Everyone is awake. Beetlejuice is yelling an alarm. Beetlejuice and Dell are armed and ready for combat.
And I'm
just calmly looking around.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, there's nothing going on. It is a peaceful, calm, beautiful forest with kind of a poopy smell in the distance. And you have a nice little fire next to you.
There's something in my something tried to get in my noggin.
You good, mate?
I don't know. Look, something tried to invade my mind, and I don't know what it was. I can't see it. It could be like a sentient plant. It could be like, I don't know what kind of creatures are around here. There could be like sentient rocks or something. Hell, the whole damn moon could be sentient for all I know, and it's trying to contact me. I'm just saying, something tried to invade my mind.
And that is where we will end the game.
All right.
Okay. Thank you all for playing. I appreciate all of you. I always look forward to doing this. And thank anyone who's actually watching. Y'all are awesome.
All right. We'll see you next time. Go roll some dice. Goodbye.